Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Sam Slays. Welcome. Happy July 24th. It is Monday. It is a decent sunny Monday on the East Coast, I might add. Weather's not too bad today. But like I said, I'm your host, Sam Slays. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. But we have a pretty stacked show for you guys this week. Some weekly updates, some Music Mondays content coming up, a little bit of previews, the usual stuff, and then along with our usual reactions and reviews. So, without further ado, like I said, I hope you're all well. I hope you're chilling. But let's get right into this, my friends. So, we're here live with episode 131, and we're gonna hop into some weekly updates. So, episode 130 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on all platforms, including our YouTube channel. Make sure you go check out our Spotify, our Apple Podcasts page, our Google Podcast page, all that stuff. Huge shout out to everybody that's taking us on the go with all of our mobile platforms, right? Like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You guys are amazing. If you guys are streaming us on audio platforms, thank you. I appreciate it. But again, huge shout out to our YouTube crowd as well. Huge shout out to everybody that watches the podcast on the channel. Again, you guys are also amazing. I mean, we're literally so close to 190 subs. So again, huge shout out to you guys for the support and thank you for running up the episodes. I appreciate it, truly. So yeah, huge shout out to everybody that came through to episode 130 last week. Everybody that submitted, everybody that showed love, you guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, that episode is available on all platforms, so make sure you go check it out if you missed it. Let's see here. So that takes us to Tuesday, and we announced a brand new Music Monday staff member. We added somebody to the curation team by the name of Ivanko. You've probably seen Ivanko around before, aka Booty Jesus, aka Ivanko Bish. You can find them on Instagram and Twitter as well. But if you see them around with Music Mondays or just around in general, make sure you go show them some love. We just recently recruited them last week for a curator position. They'll be helping out with SoundCloud Sunday lists, Spotify lists, Underground Classics, things like that. So again, huge shout out to Ivanko and welcome them to the Music Monday staff team. Community feedback number 2. YouTube upload is available right now. If there's anything you're interested in seeing myself or the Music Monday staff team or just Music Mondays in general talk about, definitely go check out our community feedback episode 2. We put out the last one I think like 1 or 2 months ago. But community feedback is essentially just a segment where you guys have free reign to pretty much comment anything you want, things you want to see on the show, small, big, tutorials, literally anything. You know what I mean? So definitely go check out community feedback number 2 and go show that some love as well if you missed it. And again, huge shout out to everybody that's running up our YouTube channel. We are literally 1 sub away from 190. Literally 1 sub. So huge shout out to all you guys showing love to the channel. And if you're not subbed, man, make sure you go subbed. We literally upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the channel. So definitely go check out our YouTube because we've been putting in some fucking work over there. So, yeah. Oh, and sidebar. These are actually blue light glasses, by the way. I got a couple questions on if people were wondering if I wear glasses. I do not, but I do spend about a good like 8 or 10 hours a day looking at a screen. So yeah, blue light glasses are definitely the play for really what I do. So yeah, just as a quick reference. But back to our weekly updates. So let's see, that takes us to Friday. We dropped a brand new article on allmusicmondays.com. This one was written by M. Huge shout out to M. Bischoff. Tropes in Heart Stop Miami actually put out a project titled Can't Turn Back, and M absolutely killed it with this review. This might be peak M writing. M is a very, very consistent Music Monday staff member. They've been absolutely going stupid hard with everything that they do. But this is probably one of my personal favorites, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think M really, really killed this one as far as content and like quality goes. But again, like, you know, we had that journalism upload not too long ago where we were really discussing you know, what needs to happen in journalism in 2023 for it to really survive, especially like underground journalism, right? And yeah, I think M really hit the nail on the head when it comes to that. So huge shout out to M, and definitely go check out that article if you missed it. Um, we actually thanked our Patreons. So we've been on Patreon for April, May, June. So almost 4 full months we've been on Patreon. And we shouted out our June Patreons of 2023. So huge shout out to all of our Patreons right now. Again, you guys are awesome. Much love to you guys truly for not only supporting the brand in the early stages, but you guys will always be remembered and recognized for um the early days of Music Mondays, right? And that's very important to me personally. So again, a huge shout out to all the Music Mondays Patreons. For those of you that come back on a weekly, monthly, or any type of basis, whether you're a basic Patreon, an advanced Patreon, pretty much any tier, you guys are amazing. And if you're ever considering checking out our Patreon, definitely go check that out. Lots of major potential there, as far as deeper promotion, early access to content. We pretty much upload everything on the Patreon first before it goes live everywhere. So again, definitely consider subscribing to our Patreon, as that's one of our main ways that we gain revenue. And pretty much our first goal is getting enough money to open a smaller merch store and see if we can get something running for the community as well. So that's really the goal there. So again, huge shout out to the Music Mondays Patreons. You guys are amazing, and we definitely won't let you down. That's a fact. So that takes us to Sunday. SoundCloud Sunday Volume 92 is available right now. That was created by myself, Depress, and Waterfalls. Again, the support for SoundCloud Sunday has been fucking amazing. We're definitely the premier SoundCloud playlist outside of what SoundCloud actually puts out. We definitely come up with the latest and greatest and finest underground independent creatives. So again, huge shout out to the community for actually supporting SoundCloud Sunday. And huge shout out to everybody that actually takes the time to go listen to SoundCloud Sunday. And like I say every week, definitely go put your friends on to SoundCloud Sunday, right? Definitely go make sure you show this playlist to people that don't even make music. There's a lot of people out there that really don't have playlists or access to the type of creatives that we do, right? Because it seems so vast, and sometimes even like can like almost feel like it's a small world. But at the end of the day, there are so many people that really don't understand, that there's a whole underground community of all different genres when it comes to music, design, fashion, like so many things. So SoundCloud Sunday is just one avenue for people to be exposed to independent art for the first time. And I think that's something that's like really important. So if you're like one of those people that's like, always in the car with your homies, or you have a homie that's like, yo, blah 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 blah. Definitely put them on to SoundCloud Sunday, and definitely go show SoundCloud Sunday Volume 92 some love for sure. I did the arts the last couple weeks, but we'll be having Conbini and 63 back on art duty this week, so look out for some new covers from them as well. That takes us to Monday, so that's basically your weekly recap over the last week or so. Put out a decent amount of content over the last week, but we have so much more on our plates coming to you. So what we're going to do this week is, outside of a discussion segment, we're going to talk about what's coming for Music Mondays, and then we're going to really break down some major summer events, things that are coming for Music Mondays, things that you should be looking out for, and a lot of stuff like that. So two things we just want to get out the way really quickly. Music Mondays is recruiting, and we have a couple of applications that we'll be responding to this week as well. So if you're interested in joining the Music Monday staff team, definitely give us a pitch or your resume. Resume definitely preferred, but not required at all. We're totally willing to teach people the ropes as far as showing them whatever role they're interested in, right? But again, Music Mondays is very early in monetization. We take things in a very honest and transparent way. So again, we're going in a very legitimate route, and pretty much all the revenue that we make here goes right back into the brand, along with everybody else kind of putting in full effort when it comes to their content, and really understanding that Music Mondays is on the path to becoming something completely different outside of the current media landscape, right? So Just consider those factors when you do pitch for the Music Money staff team. But with that said, we are open for recruitment. We are looking for journalists, writers, curators, designers, content creators, short form and long form content creators. Um, and again, resume preferred, portfolio preferred, but definitely not required. We're totally willing to get you strapped in and learning the role that you're interested in as well. Just because we're more concerned with having passionate individuals and people that actually give a fuck about the scene rather than people that just want to make money or blah 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 blah. Because Music Mondays has a lot of plans for how we're going to stay afloat as a platform, but we're also not going to milk the community, because that's not what this is about. So that's definitely very important. So again, just keep that in mind. And Music Mondays is recruiting. So if you're interested in any of those previously mentioned roles, definitely get in contact with myself or any of the Music Monday staff, or send us a DM or email. But exclusives, the other thing, we're looking for SoundCloud exclusive unreleased tracks that we can host on our SoundCloud. We're just really looking to build up our library and archive and really promote some artists in a real different way. So if a SoundCloud exclusive is something that's kind of interesting you, feel free to reach out to us. We're also interested in hosting EPs and albums as well. So if that's something, again, that you're interested in, feel free to reach out and let us know. So again, of course, the tracks have to be unreleased, but you can pretty much do whatever you want with the track afterwards, right? We're only interested in the SoundCloud version of the track, so feel free to distro that track wherever you see fit. So yeah, we're interested in SoundCloud exclusives, and of course, that's completely free. You'll be promoted across all of our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. You guys know the drill. So again, if that's something you're dabbling in, or you're interested in, or you want to know more about, definitely hit us up. But we're also interested in YouTube exclusives as well. If you have a visual, a lyric video, or you just want to host some YouTube audio, we're totally down for that too. Our channel's almost at 200 subs. Our videos do pretty decent for where we're at. The channel has been growing at a really decent rate, so we're also looking to archive over there as well. So definitely reach out. Again, if a visual or a SoundCloud exclusive piques your interest, definitely let us know, and we can totally have that conversation. But so again, for our discussion segment this week, I have a couple of things on the list that I really want to touch on. We're going to be breaking down some like free resources for creatives and new artists. We're going to be breaking down distribution services, pros and cons. We're going to have some moral and motivation talks about grinding and putting in some hours. We're going to talk about SoundCloud copyright. So I have a couple of things on the back burner as far as what we're going to talk about in future shows. But for this week, we're going to talk about summer 2023, right? We're in the middle of July. We're in pretty much, for the lack of a better phrase, balls deep in summer, for sure. You know what I mean? So I figured I'd give you guys a little scope of what's coming on Music Mondays. Major things, monthly things, weekly things, stuff like that. And then we'll hop into some reactions and reviews. So, summer 2023 preview. Let's get into it. Cyberfest 2. So, for those of you that weren't around this time last year, Music Mondays hosted our online URL event in our Discord, Cyberfest. It was about a 12-hour event with almost 30 artists, some collectives, about 15 to 20-minute sets each. Everybody had a really good time. Everybody was already asking for Cyberfest 2. But again, many of you know my history with UBC and previous platforms. So when it comes to URL festivals, URL shows, that's definitely not something I'm unfamiliar with. And I definitely don't want to kind of oversaturate the space with it, because I do think that there is a lot of that going on, as to where people are doing like monthly shows, you know what I mean? They're doing them more than once a year. It kind of kills the vibe for me, so I want to keep Cyberfest pretty special. So that'll be kind of like an annual thing, but that is coming up. So expect Cyberfest to be hosted around the same time that it was last year, which is early September, late August. Sort of a banger to end off the summer. But we will kind of come up with a way that we want to curate some sets, and then we're going to reach out to some artists as well So again, if that's something you're interested in, keep your eyes peeled for any details about Cyberfest 2. But that's something that we're really working on the back end of things as well. Um, let's see. So guest episodes on the show. I have a couple of ideas for guests here on the Music Mondays podcast that are going to come join me for either one show or, a portion of a show, or come on for like a certain discussion segment or things like that. So yeah, we're looking into either bringing on a couple staff members along with, I don't want to bring another artist on to critique another artist's music. Um, just because it's almost like a weird conflict almost. And how Music Mondays and how all of this started for me was, yes, I'm an artist, but at the same time, um, I've also published almost 100 pieces. We're almost on 131 episodes of the show. I've been in the scene for almost fucking 7 years. You know what I mean? So it's like there comes like with like a little bit of weight and like a validity that you need to be able to like at least like give your opinion on something. And I wouldn't want people to get the wrong idea. So we'll probably keep it light in terms of guests and reviewing and reacting to stuff. I definitely think it can be a good idea. It's just got to be the right person. But as far as artists actually coming on the show, that's definitely something that's going to happen. It just won't be with reactions and reviews, right? I definitely think there'll be a good time and place for that. But then again, there could be an artist that's like, okay, that's like really sick. You know what I mean? So there's a couple of ideas that I'm pretty open to when it comes to that and like real guest episodes. So again, keep your eyes peeled for that. And if there's anybody you definitely want to see on the show, definitely let us know. You know what I mean? But you'll definitely see Music Money staff members here for sure. So yeah, we're looking into booking some guests and bringing some people here on the show. So again, keep your eyes peeled for that. Tier lists. So we have a really cool concept coming. Me and the Music Money staff team, not all of the staff members, but the majority of us are going to sit down and do a underground artist tier list. We have something that's really really special that we came up with, and I think the community will have a pretty fun time with it, if I'm being honest with you. So again, expect more staff content and a lot more team content. Because I'm looking to bring the staff on not only a show, but just to get the staff more involved in segments and whatnot. And I'm sure you guys would like to see more of the staff as well. So that'd be really cool. So that's the other thing that's kind of on the back burner as well. Smaller events. So smaller events is something that we've been reached out to about a couple times as to where people want to come on the show and um, come freestyle, or they want to do kind of like quick Q&As or kind of like mini interviews or things like that. So we're looking into hosting some smaller segments, within the Music Mondays podcast, but we don't want to cut out too much time of like reactions and reviews. So there's going to have to be a way that we actually like work that into our schedule in terms of um when we do those. You know what I mean? So again, something else is on the back burner, but we're definitely considering that as well. So our monthly content will continue throughout July into early August. So the usual workshop Wednesday, feature Friday, behind the merch, and the breakdown will all be returning to the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for those. Those are some of like my favorite segments on the channel outside of like exclusives and things like that. So um, definitely look out for those. Again, organizing guests for those that are actually not like worthy, but I want to have good shows along with actually people that deserve it, right? So pretty much everybody that's involved with Feature Friday, Workshop Wednesday, or who you see on the channel actually deserve it. You know what I mean? So that's something that's really really important. So expect all those returning to the channel as well. Um, we're also coming up with a concept to promote on Threads. It's going to be a while before Threads actually is a tangible platform to curate from, right? Because we know that there's a big population over there, but there's just simply no way for us to really get that involved with submissions. But I did come up with a solution. Um, I just need to iron it out with a little bit more detail before we launch it. But we'll definitely have some Threads exclusive promo available for the community. So that's definitely something that's really exciting. Because I was a little bit bummed at first about like not being able to like fully transition over to Threads, right? Because it was such a massive population to like take advantage of and really pick from. But it just didn't happen like that, and it kind of sucks. But it is what it is, right? I mean, there's not much you can do because they kind of like shot themselves in the foot launching early because like yeah, like Twitter was like and it still is in a dark place, but um you know like myself for instance, I don't find a need to log into my personal Threads account when I have to run the Music Mondays account as well. So like, the fact that basic features aren't there was just like a huge bummer, you know what I mean? So I came to the conclusion that we still need to do something over there. I just didn't know what it was going to be. But something did click in my head, and I started ironing out some notes and really how, figuring out how I want to approach that. So yeah, look out for that announcement as well. Um, and like working it into our schedule is also going to be weird because a lot of our content gets posted on all platforms. But if we're doing some like Threads exclusive promotion, um, I definitely think it could get weird. But again, we'll see. Nothing's really like set in stone yet. But I did come up with a rough blueprint as far as what we're gonna do over there. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. But that's it for like major summer stuff that I can fully talk about yet without leaking like too much. I don't want to leak a lot of content. But those are like the major things that are coming up for us and what we're really focusing on, along with, in case you missed it monthly, the May 2023 edition as well. And then we're also working on the June. So keep your eyes peeled for both of those. But again, the usual smaller things as well: social media maintenance, our website maintenance. Pretty much all those are standard, but that's pretty much what's coming up for summer 2023 within the next like month or so. Just a little bit of a preview of some announcements that come. So again, definitely make sure you subscribe and like this video if you're watching on YouTube, by the way. I think we're like one sub away from 190, but also if you're watching this live, huge shout out to you. But again, this will be uploaded on the channel, so make sure you go show some love. Drop a sub if you haven't, and drop a comment. You know what I mean? Tell us what you want us to really do over the summer of 2023. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us who you want to see. So much stuff on the table right now, so keep your eyes peeled and make sure you follow us on all socials. So that's that, chat. Little summer 2023 preview. Again, lots of stuff coming up for us, but I don't want to jump the gun too much and really spill all the beans before anything is really set in stone yet. Because you guys know I don't ever really do that regardless. So yeah. That's that. I'm definitely really excited, but I'm also like running around like a chicken with my head cut off because I have so much to do. But it'll be good. It'll be really solid. But that's that, my friends. So we can actually hop into some reactions and reviews for this week's episode. I know we have a decent amount of submissions as well. So again, huge shout out to our Twitter crew, man. You guys are fucking legends. You know what I mean? It's a rough time to curate some stuff in certain fashions, right? There's only so much curation we can do from like actual certain platforms right now. So those of you guys that wait on the Music Mondays podcast and are consistently submitting, thank you. I appreciate it. Rest assured, we are working tirelessly to figure out a solution for the majority of our stuff, right? And that's also a big reason why our Spotify playlist hasn't launched yet. Just because social media is in such like a shitty fucking place. I don't feel confident fully launching that without knowing where a lot of our submissions are going to be coming from. So that's the thing with that as well. But that's neither here nor there. let's talk submissions. So let me actually tweet out the stream since we're gonna get into some reactions and reviews. I usually tweet out the stream before, or I tweet it out after we do our weekly recap stuff, sort of like a little bit after our discussion segment and whatnot. Just because those are like very very important talks. So yeah. So what you're looking at right now on screen, and for those of you that are looking or listening on audio, I should say, tweets are in the same format every week. Some people ask, how do I submit to the show? Where do I submit? How do I submit? Why do you take submissions on Twitter? Yada, 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 yada. You guys know the drill. So I'm about to dump some information on you right now. And again, like I said, tweets are in the same format every week. Artists and creatives submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on 7/24/23 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/songplays. If you'd like to submit your music artwork faster and digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. 4-hour show limit. Must be following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Patreon subscribers, submissions played first each week. So what does all that mean? Why does that matter? Let's talk about it. So, 7/24/23, which is here now. Twitch.tv/SonPlays, which is also here now. Contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to and reviewed pretty much everything from music, vocals, instrumentals, music videos, digital art, fashion, merch, graphic design, literally anything, you name it, we've reacted to it here on the show. So feel free to drop any form of artwork or any type of portfolio. If you're an underground independent creative and you feel like your work deserves some spotlight here on the Music Mondays podcast, we want you here on the show. So feel free to submit anything to the show that you feel confident in, and we'll be happy to react to it here live on the Music Mondays podcast. So that's that. And again, all art forms are welcome, like it says. 4-hour show limit. Again, we are a weekly show, so that was put in place to really make the show more palatable, right? We can't expect everybody to watch a 7-8 hour podcast every week. I mean, arguably 4 hours is still pretty long, but it's still not that bad in terms of like what we used to do, because the show has gotten up to be like almost 6 to like 7 hours long. So that's the reason why that was put in place. And again, just to keep the show free flow, and really like have like a head count on what the show's looking like and really how many submissions we have. And again, like I said, we are a weekly show. So this prevents a little bit more of like a burnout on myself and the staff as far as committing to like a weekly Monday podcast that's as intense as Music Mondays, right? Because even if somebody else did a weekly show, like we do intense detailed breakdowns, like as much as you possibly could on a first listen, right? So that's the thing there. We don't want to like put too much pressure on the staff and myself. So again, that's why we bumped it down to 4 hours. And of course that means not everybody's submissions will be played each week, so that's why the Patreon was put into place. If you're a minimum $5 basic tier Patreon sub, you'll be granted access to the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which allows you to submit to the Music Mondays podcast for that whole month. Pretty much allows you to cut the line, essentially. If you're Music Mondays Patreon, your submissions will be played first over the rest of the communities. Of course, because you're not only supporting us through Patreon, but we wanted to give some incentive to people that wanted their submissions played first, or the people that actually cared about coming into the show first. Because we do promote the show pretty much everywhere: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So again, if you want your tracks or submissions played at the top of the show, feel free to go check out our Patreon. And there's so much more details over there, and a lot of really good stuff, all the way up to the premium Patreon tier. So that's that on that. So outside of that, the only thing that we do ask, because again, we don't charge for submissions. All of our submissions for everything that we do will always be free. playlists, articles, podcast submissions, you name it, everything is free. So the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Because again, just to pay respect to pretty much everybody that submits every week and waits for their submissions to be reacted to. And again, just to help spread our message and to help Music Mondays grow in exchange for a free submission, right? So that's the only thing that we do ask. So make sure you're following Music Mondays podcast on Twitter before you submit. So that's just about everything that you need to know. The only other thing that you need to know, the Patreon and our homepage will always be linked under the tweet, but submissions do close a couple hours before the show, right? About an hour and a half or so before the show. So just keep that in mind. You have about 7 days or so to actually get your submissions in. Because again, we're here live Monday, July 24th. Submissions will open tomorrow, July 25th, for episode 132. If you're watching this on YouTube, submissions are already open, so make sure you go find the tweet. That's very important. So again, if you're here live, submissions open tomorrow for next week. And if you're watching on YouTube, submissions are definitely already open and they'll close Monday. So definitely go check that out. So yeah, that's pretty much the bare bones breakdown. If you have any other questions about the Music Money podcast or why we do things or should you submit this or are private links okay? Yes, by the way, private links are perfectly fine. Pretty much everything goes as long as it's not like TOS for Twitch or anything like that. So feel free to go crazy with visuals and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So without further ado, my friends, let's get into it. I think it's time we start breaking some shit down. So, you guys know the drill. Patrons go first. The rest of the community comes in line. So, let's count how many patrons we have this week. Shout out Dread. It's been a while since we heard from Dread. Ryuki is a Music Money's patron, so we'll definitely be checking out Ryuki first on this episode. And then we got TDG, and then Blank Thoughts. So that's 3 patrons tonight. And then SLM as well. So that's 4 patrons. That's actually fire. Okay, cool. I'm definitely down. Definitely down. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say Oathkeeper submitted literally, I think 2 minutes after we closed submissions. So we'll skip over Oathkeeper, and we have time at the end of the show. We'll make sure to wrap back around to it. But again, that's why we always want to remind you guys that submissions are open for 7 days straight. So just keep that in mind and make sure you get your submissions in before they close. So, Ryuki is up first. Now, again, Ryuki has had a really solid 2023. Ryuki recently became a Music Mondays Patreon, but prior to that, Ryuki has always been super supportive of Music Mondays, but super talented alternative pop artists they've been putting on for a lot of their mutuals. And their caption this week, another Company World artist I want to show y'all. RB Kaleko. Kaleko, Rockstar Pain. So we got the homie Kaleko. Okay. We are definitely down. So technically a first time submission, even though it's coming from Ryuki, but it's definitely an artist we're not familiar with. So definitely don't know what to expect. Alright. You guys know the drill. We'll go 1080. Check description. Shout out Clooney. Solid description. Got everything you'd want. Highly underrated. Finna blow up soon for sure. Lots of love in the comments for sure. Definitely. Yeah, lots of love in the comments. Okay. Alright. Let's full screen. Get into this. Full volume for sure. Kaleko, first time submission. Rockstar Pain.
I'm in the lane in Hellcat, I'm sipping on good drink. I'm for Rossi right now, you can see my face. Pull up a 4 and a 20. I think I'm in love with the money. I count these hundreds on hundreds. I count these hundreds on hundreds. I keep falling levels of things that I should've, but I'ma keep pouring this money. I keep getting calls from a bitch I don't want it, but I'ma still fuck in the morning. She keep on asking me why you got fur on your shoes, you ain't never seen money. I take a pill when no one around, I don't give a fuck if I'm lonely. I'm having rush hour pain, I'm having rush hour pain. I'm having rush hour pain, I'm having rush hour pain. I'm having rush hour pain, I'm having rush hour pain. I'm having rush hour pain. Just for a second, I took my life for granted. I know this young right now locked down, they all got life, I tell them no panic. I took a pink pill, ain't no sanity. I need a deuce right now, taste candy. Shit can't damage me, and I be causing madness in the field. After I fucked this girl, she looked at me like, Cleggo, how you feel? This shit for life, I'm rockin' Balenci, chasing meals. Woke up this morning, I pour high tech, love how I live. I'm having rush hour pain, I'm having rush hour pain. I'm having rush hour pain, I'm having rush hour pain. I'm having rush hour pain, I'm having rush hour pain. I'm having rush hour pain. Put up that muddy cup, I still don't get no fucks. I got everything out the dirt right now, and I ain't had no luck. Put up that muddy cup, I still don't get no fucks. I got everything out the dirt right now, and I ain't had no luck.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I definitely see you, Clayco. I definitely see you. All right. Let's break this one down. So, let's get into it. We're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental. Talk about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of Rockstar Pain. So, let's talk instrumental. Um, Mix is great. I like the mix a lot. Nice and loud, super crisp, super level, nothing clashing at all. Melody super prominent. Drums knock, definitely knock. I believe it was yeah, Clooney on the mix. So kind of not really a shocker there. Pretty much everything we've heard from Clooney has always been like super well rounded. But you always got to point it out, right? Not really like a shocker per se. Um, so instrumental mix definitely solid. Shining Star. Mm. So I'm big on these drums. I like the drum selection in particular. I definitely think the drum selection um was like really well thought out, or is just one of those like you're just in the zone and like it's so weird because like sometimes it'll take you like forever to find sounds, and then sometimes sounds just click when it comes to shit like that. So this instrumental definitely strikes me as one where drums just they're just perfect in terms of like sound selection, definitely. But the melody's like super prominent and like rememberable, if you will, right? Like I definitely feel like there's a lot of like replayability when it comes to this melody. Um, I'm kind of torn though. Structure's solid too, though. Um, Definitely an underrated point there. Hmm. I might go ahead and say drums just because of the sound selection. Like I really do like the sound selection, and I feel like it mixed well with um the melody. Like really just gave it like that dark trap, slightly like alternative plug, you know, a little bit of like both vibes for sure. But drums were like a big deal here, so definitely drums as far as Shining Star goes for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely drums. Let's talk vocals. So vocals. Vocal mix is great. Vocal mix is definitely fucking solid. Um, Nothing clashing too overbearing. Drums definitely cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice. But again, you have Clooney involved, so not really like a shocker there. That's something we've become really like accustomed to in terms of like, um, you know, a lot of the stuff that we've heard from Clooney or Clooney involved, always has like a real crisp style to it. That's one thing. Like I'm like really a fan of, is you can always like guarantee like a really solid mix. Well, that's good. That's what I like. But the vocal mix is great. Shining Star, there's a couple of things I like about this. Writing is solid. Second verse was really solid. Um, hook. It was like more on like those like party kind of like turn up hooks, but the verses come in and they like fully expand upon like the thought process and really like the mindset behind like a song like this. Like you can really get a lot of detail from the verses. Like even if the hook is like very much kind of like a rage kind of hook. So that's one thing about that. Um, I think one thing I really like about this though, that I feel like you could totally gloss over, because you're so like enthusiastic about about like the whole sound in general. But one thing I really like about this is the delivery. The delivery is something that's like really underrated here, and I don't think anybody spoke about that. Um, Definitely everybody gave a lot of love in terms of like sound, but I feel like this delivery was like very confident, very like um you could just tell Clayco is like confident in their sound and like almost like within themselves or just maybe in that moment in music, right? Cuz there's ups and downs to like self-confidence and shit. But when it comes to like being confident in this moment, I definitely think Clayco nailed it when it comes to like just delivering, but also like the attitude and like the believability. And I feel like the visual had a bit to do with this as well. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go say delivery. Like the delivery and like the whole way that this was recorded was super solid, super solid. I feel like somebody else could try to make this song and it would sound completely different. But just because Clayco is like super confident on the delivery, it was like something about the quality and the confidence was really on point for me, and that's what I really like about these vocals for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely drum selection. Vocals are solid, definitely the delivery, 100%. Um, so instead of theme, let's talk visual because we definitely got to talk about this visual, and I definitely think the visual kind of has to do with a little bit of like the delivery as well. Um, so in terms of the visual, right? Again, this is a Ryuki submission, but Kleiko's also a first time artist that we haven't heard here on the show. So, a couple things to consider. Looking at this visual, one thing I really like about this is the fact that it's not like super over edited. Like, I feel like if you're going to use this kind of aesthetic, like, you don't need to like oversaturate it at all. And like, the way this was edited was really solid, like, right out the gate. But one thing about like Kleiko specifically, right, is the confidence on camera. Um, Definitely doesn't look nervous, and definitely doesn't look like this is like their first rodeo. And I think that's something that like you always got to consider when you react to certain videos like this, right? Like, do they look nervous? Do they look comfortable? Like, do they look good on camera and not like looks wise? Like, but do you look fucking comfortable? You know what I mean? Like, you look all right. And Clayco definitely like passes that check for me. Which is something I noticed like right off the bat. But outside of the actual like um Clayco factor, I think one thing I really like about this visual too is the way it was shot, right? Like only one location here, but you could pick like 50 different angles and it all looks like different locations. You know what I mean? Like this was definitely like really well done, and these are the type of videos that you can bang out in a day and they come out so good. You know what I mean? Like they come out so fucking good. That's one thing I really really like about this. Like really really like about this for sure. Um so as far as like post editing goes, like I mentioned, I like the fact that this doesn't like get oversaturated. It's not like deep fried. There's not like a bunch of text on the screen. There's not like a bunch of crazy transitions. Like I feel like it gives you a chance to like absorb the scenery, but it doesn't take away from the lyrics. It doesn't take away from the actual song, which I think is something that like sometimes visuals do, right? They're so like erratic that you're not even paying attention to the song. This one kind of like made you pay attention to the visual and the song, which again I think is a big plus here. But I think my takeaway and my favorite thing about this visual though is the location. I think the location was perfect. I like the filter on this. I just like how everything went down with this visual. It gives that real raw like underground feeling for sure, but just with like a new kind of like class of artist, you know, like definitely has like roots in like underground visuals for sure. So with that said, huge shout out to Clayco and Ryuki. Thank you so much for your submission, my friends. Much love. Make sure you go sub to Clayco on YouTube. Literally 7 subs from 530, and make sure you follow Ryuki on Twitter. They are 5 followers away from 250. Make sure you go show Ryuki some love. And huge shout out to Ryuki for the submission. And thank you for being a Music Mondays Patreon, my friend. Let's fucking get it, baby. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 Subaroonies on the main channel, man. We're like 1 sub away. I think we're at 189, literally. So go tell your grandma to make a second account and go bang that sub button, all right? Because we're trying to get to 200. But yeah, man, 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments. You guys know the drill. Go check out the channel. Lots of good stuff over there. Ryuki, what's good? Welcome on in. Happy Monday, my friend. Welcome. Let's get it, baby. So, yeah, let's do this. That was a great way to kick off the show, if I'm being like completely honest. So, let's see. Our next Patreon of the night, the homie TDG. A super talented alternative hip hop vocalist and producer, submitted a track titled Game Over, featuring RJ Hutch, Prod TDG. Okay. Holy shit, 7 months ago. This is definitely not something we've reacted to. Okay. Wow. 7 months ago, huh? Or 11 months ago, I mean. Okay. Definitely not brand new, but definitely not super old either. So let's get into it. TDG, Game Over. Let's go. It's a video game soundtrack. Wacky lit. Okay. I see you. Let's get it, baby.
Sorted. All of my worries, that part of my brain. I'm playing no games with all of these lames. Man, I be balling like Harden, all-star on the mic. Don't get left if you don't get it right. Taking off on my home, in my zone. What you gonna do for the pipe? Man, I'm all night, up all night, trying to get to the next level. Know I made a fall, but I'm never gonna settle. Kinda like Need for Speed, I got my foot on the pedal. Trying to find the next boss. I only got stronger from the last loss. Meanwhile, they pay to play. Man, I swear to be soft. I wanna beat the game with one cost. Sometimes I will feel like I'm trapped up in a game. I'm trying to deal our stories ain't the same. Sometimes I will feel like I'll be in this video. Power button on, saying here we go. Bitch, I don't play no games. Bitch, I don't play no games. Bitch, I don't play no games. Don't be mad, not the player of the game. Whoa, don't talk to me if there's nothing to gain. Whoa, bitch, I'm coming through, out the way. Stick make you do 360, better run away. Look at me, we ain't the same. Look at me, we ain't the same. Not I, I'm mighty high. Not I, I'm mighty high. To my face you can't say, you got lost, I'll knock your socks off. This life is hard, nah. Tired of the low launch off. No longer gonna be stomped on. Whoa, yeah. This white boy clean pistol Pete. Sometimes I will feel like I'm trapped up in a game, but I'm trying to deal our stories ain't the same. Sometimes I will feel like I'll be in this video. Power button on, saying here we go. This white boy clean, pistol beat. Please, oh please, don't you fuck with me. Now you see my face, you can't speak. Oh, now you're dead, you can't speak. They say I peak, fuck that. The moon I'ma reach, the surface I'ma preach. Try to take from me, you fucking leech. Came from underneath, now I'm at the top of the trees at. Max, how'd you get your G-Pads? Fuck you, none of your beeswax.
What the fuck?
They say how you do that, I ain't telling now.
Okay.
Everyone piss off. They see where I'm going. They wanna come on the lift off. Fuck that. Where were you at when I was low? Oh, you say you don't know? Yeah, I think you know. Yeah. They don't believe in me. Nah. That okay. It okay. I don't need ya. That okay. I don't need shit. White boy, pistol P. Oh, please, don't you fuck with me.
Let's go. Okay, couple things to talk about here. I really like this track, especially for something that's like not recent in TDG's catalog. Because for those of you who aren't new here, we all know that TDG drops pretty frequently, right? So that's one of those things where, damn, I just have so much to say about this. So let's break this down. We're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Game Over. So, let's talk instrumental. Prod TDG yeah. Prod TDG. The sound selection here was very unique. Very unique. That's one thing I did notice about this sound selection. It was definitely like not unique in like an abstract kind of experimental way, but it was just unique. It's a very unique approach, and that's definitely one thing you can always expect from TDGs is like a little bit of like spice thrown in there, you know what I mean? Like TDG is very like an artist that can like throw you off in a good way and makes it work. But this instrumental definitely kind of like pushed me in that direction a little bit, as to where I was like, wow, this is actually like a very like interesting, slightly like alternative approach. But before we get into that, let's talk about the mix. The mix is solid. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Vocals sit nicely as well, so that's the main thing. Everything cuts through pretty good. Everything's leveled nicely, so no gripes with that mix at all in terms of the instrumental. So the mix is good. I'm big on the melody and like the usage, but I do think the drums could be very underrated. I almost feel like I have to say the melody. I don't know why. But I do like the drums though, so it's like structure is also very underrated now that I think about it. I'm gonna go ahead and say melody just because that brings like the replayability factor for me. And on the first time listen, that's definitely something that would like bring me back. Instrumental. So definitely the melody for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Couple things I really like about these vocals, but again, before we get into that, it makes it solid. Vocals sit nice, nothing clashing too overbearing. I don't think TDG and RJ sound like too different, but I do think they did their own thing, which was nice, right? I think they sound good together on this track. But all in all, a really solid mix. A really like not too many gripes with it at all. I definitely don't think for 11 months ago this is a bad mix whatsoever. Not at all. So the mix is solid, but two things I really like about these vocals is I love TDG's verses and I love this hook. Like something about this hook brought like a different type of like almost slightly like kind of like hype, like high adrenaline, high energy kind of feeling to this track, right? That's what I got from the hook. And then TDG still kind of came through with like the punchlines, the bars, the wordplay. Even if it was like some offbeat punchline, like there was some shit that kind of like made you like, oh damn, like I definitely smiled a couple times. So that's one thing you can like really enjoy about a TDG verse is the writing is always very clever. And like for 11 months ago as well, like I said, not super brand new, but it's not super old, right? But it is like, at some point in 2022, and then if you consider like all the things that we've reacted to from TDG that are recent, this is like such a great progression. You know what I mean? And you just gotta recognize that, truly. But the hook is one thing, but I think writing across the board between both these artists was really good, like throughout the whole track. So that's one thing I can say for both of you is that writing like totally nailed it for me on like the first listen. So definitely writing is the shining star for me. Even though I am a super big fan of the hook and specifically TDG's writing. So a little bit of both there, but if I had to pick one, definitely writing overall for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. A vocal solid, definitely the writing. Sock theme. So aesthetics. Um, I mean, great cover, great fucking cover, right? Like totally brings that like space video game extraterrestrial kind of vibe, and then like the incorporation of like an IRL kind of picture there, but it's not the main attraction on the cover was pretty typical. I think that was a very typical like design choice. So whoever went in on this did a really good job. And it's just a kind of a chill cover, and it definitely like hits the spot for me as far as like um what this song like would look like if it was a picture. So definitely a solid choice. And then like you have the standard TDG font and whatnot. So I definitely like this cover choice a lot. So overall theme. This wasn't like a track where it was like specifically like written in like a like, oh, we gotta have like a theme, this is what this song is about. But I definitely feel like this is one of those tracks where they both kind of like TDG and RJ like connected on like a mental level, and they both kind of like understood where the vibe was going. Futuristic, space like, couple of things kind of, it was very like bouncy, like the direction was just very much there in terms of like an alternative hip hop track. But I definitely feel like these two nailed it in terms of like the track title Game Over, but they nailed it in the aspect of like actually keeping the whole like um space extraterrestrial experimental unique vibe up. So this is definitely like a showcase of lyricism outside of like the obvious like foundation that we have here. So that's one thing I really enjoy about the theme is again showcasing the lyrical ability here is what matters the most. And the fact that you can wrap like a little theme around it is always really, really fucking solid. Really solid. So with that said, huge shout out to TDG. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow TDG on SoundCloud. They are literally one follow away from 980. And of course, make sure you follow TDG on Twitter. They are 4 followers away from 160. Go show TDG some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190. I think we're one away. Literally one away. So, we'll show some love to the channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Exclusive segments, full podcast episodes, exclusive YouTube uploads, exclusive tracks, a whole lot of good stuff available over there. So go show the channel and these artists some love. And if you already have been, thank you. We see you and we appreciate you. So, those are our first 2 patrons of the night, chat. But. Um, Up next, we got the homie Blank Thought. Now, Blank Thought has been releasing like crazy when it comes to collabs, instrumentals, artists they've been working with, but also a Music Monday staff writer. So huge shout out to Blank Thought. But this alternative hip hop producer submitted a track titled Hermit from Zim's latest project Memoirs. And we got Full Monk and One Take Jack as well on this track. So let's pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got. Let's peep. We got the homie Zim, Full Monk, One Take Jack. Okay. Now, like I said, this is off of Zim's latest release, Memoirs. Got so many like really insane tracks on here. Hopefully, we'll have a chance to dive into these on the show. But it's kind of interesting because this is the first track that we've gotten the chance to react to here on the show. So I'm curious if Blank Thought thinks that this is one of the better tracks, or like this is like a top track, or anything like that. So let's see what we got here, chat. Zim, Hermit from their latest album, Memoirs. This beats are just fucking crazy.
I'm not a rapper, I abide by poet. Jotting lose focus till the towel gets thrown in. He's so well spoken, fuck a fake my slogan. Getting everybody back because my youth got stolen. Cold mind plays tricks on him every day. Fuck a poser over, take the food up out his tray. Stay away while the thoughts convey. Sitting my awake till they put my body in a fucking grave. Oh, it's so vicious, but the hoes don't get him. Keep the fist close tight, though he's so suspicious. Ambitious, malicious, carry my way through the business. Get my mind out the gutter, bitches choke chickens. Stay low, relentless, stealing every refreshment. View my appearance as filthy and unpleasant. Middle finger up for every fuck that's in attendance. Go and keep the mouth zipped, I ain't open for suggestions. Any objections, often throw them in misdirection. Always show affection to bitches that don't mess with them. People went to school with, walk past them like they pedestrians. Art of the barbarian, scarred them, they all scared again. Bored of my contrarian, hate him, he's so arrogant. Dance with the devil in elegance, molded by negligence. Fuck the numbers, know that I'm relevant. Question intelligence,
Jesus.
no be so heaven sent. Evidence needed, quick to spar with my demons. Winter feeling through the spring season's almost depleted.
It's Jack season, every season break her back on a Tempur-Pedic. She was everything he never needed, left red receipts and said I never seen it. I can see the devil in the details, I can tell the heat frail, fretting over females. I need 3 L's at least to be chill, I can read braille. Only see what I feel, I retail, weed sales, keep your emails. I got enough beats for the free, I don't need drill joints to produce your tag. Kill the noise, lose the act. I'm dropping 50 points on your newest tracks. Hit your boys with stupid tax. 222 racks, sipping booze and flipping packs, slipping through the cracks. I lit the Buddha split, this too fat for you, chap. This is true rap, you misconstrue facts. You miss like who that? I'm scribbling a new map. You kissing bootstraps and blues, we don't do that. You don't shoot straps, you a fruit snack. I snatch the food from your school bag. I can do trap or boom bap, snap until the room clap. Shroom caps have me in a loop trapped. I passed you back a few laps. Your afternoon nap was actually your doom. Master your mood as I move past. Reimburse doing last. Read the verse, accrue the cash. Reimburse the dudes who craft. Reaper keep aloof from Jack. Eat your fruit, you whack. Each feature is the proof of that. Reaper to the roof, we rolling deeper than the roots at. Hold your peace, choose your path. I roll trees and see the future pass. This is some super gas.
Okay. Shout out to Vinyl. All right. So, all right. Let's break this one down because much to discuss here. So, we're gonna talk about 3 things. Talk about the instrumental. Talk about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of this track. So, Let's talk instrumental. Very, very, very bare bones instrumental. But we're still going to talk about it. Let's talk about the mix. And the mix is great. You know what I mean? Despite being such like a sample heavy, relatively simple instrumental, I definitely think the mix was on point when it comes to not only the quality, but nothing was like super clashy. Nothing was like really fighting for space or anything like that. So I definitely feel like the mix was a big, big catalyst in how well this sounded. Because again, like things like this, right? No matter how simple they are, sometimes they can get really like convoluted and like really get like really just get all jumbled up. But I really like this mix. I definitely think this mix was like really on point. Again, it doesn't really matter how simple the instrumental is, still solid. Still solid. So mix is solid. Shining star about the instrumental. Um with it being so bare bones, I might just say the mix, to be honest with you. I do like what melodies there are. They're all relatively simple, but it was one of those instrumentals where it was very much like a canvas. You know what I mean? It was very much like a canvas for everybody to kind of paint on, if you will. So that's one thing about it. Yeah, I probably will say mix, to be honest with you. Just because there's so much emphasis on it, with it being so bare bones that you gotta, like, you just need to have a solid mix, otherwise you're just dead in the water. You're just dead in the water. So, instrumental solid, definitely the mix. Let's talk vocals here. So, this one is super interesting. But before we get into it, let's talk about the mix. Again, the mix from both these artists were great. Nothing clashes too overbearing. I definitely think they sound really solid together. Instrumental cuts through. Nothing's really fighting for space. Everything sits nicely. I'm trying to think. I don't think there was anything that like struck me as like pretty odd. So I do feel like the mix all around between vocals and the instrumental was definitely solid. When it came to this track, for sure. So vocals are kind of interesting. This one took like a interesting approach in terms of like structure and like formatting and really like how this track came out in terms of like what the final version is. So it's a very interesting listen on the first listen. But I am a fan of the structure a lot. I definitely feel like the delivery from both these artists was decent. Um one one common ground I do kind of want to say though is the writing. The writing was definitely there. Um yeah. Yeah, I think there's a big emphasis on writing here for sure. I mean, quite literally like that's like obvious, but this is one of those tracks that like forces you to pay attention to the lyrics. Not only because the instrumental is so bare bones, but the way like the delivery is and the way it's structured and it's just going and going and going and going. So I feel like um writing was really the shining star here for sure. If I'm being honest with you, especially between both of them. So definitely writing. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the mix. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Man, if this isn't a album worthy cover, I don't know what is. I like the quality. I like the text that was chosen. I like the little like Zim one night only on the fucking on the sign out front. I think that was a nice touch as well. Big fan of that. So yeah, love this cover. Like album worthy for sure. Brings like the late night club vibes. But even though this is like far from like a club project, very much like a low key like could be like a hip hop club, you know what I mean? Like shit, like this could be any club. But realistically it's probably symbolizing like a Zim show. You know what I mean? So I definitely like the approach, but it's one of those covers that like lets the imagination wander for sure. So very solid and definitely album worthy. Hermit. So I definitely don't think there's like an overlying theme here, and I don't think that they went into this track on a common like ground in terms of a theme. I definitely feel like this was again a very much showcasing of lyrical ability for sure. Um, you know, you definitely could get like a whole overall like memoirs theme if you listen to the project like front to back. But as far as strictly Hermit goes, this is definitely more of like a showcasing of lyrical ability and writing skill, to be honest with you. Um, even the track title Hermit could have more of like a personal meaning to Zim than it does like the actual track itself. So a couple things to consider when you talk about themes, right? And like we always say, not all tracks need to have a theme or anything like that. So with that said, huge shout out to Zim and Blank Thought. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow Zim on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow Blank Thought on Twitter. Blank Thought is 6 followers away from 980. Go show Blank Thought some love on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 Subarunis. I believe we are one away, so make sure you go show the channel some love. We upload 2 times a week. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good stuff available over there on the channel. So go show these artists on the channel some love, and if you already have been, thank you. We appreciate you. Much, much love, my friends. So, huge shout out to all of our patrons tonight. Huge shout out to Ryuki, TDG, Blank Thought, and our final patron of the night, the homie Jordan Andrew, aka SLM. Another artist that has been going crazy in terms of releases, projects, collabs, production. Jordan Andrew has been all over the map in a very, very good fashion. But they submitted a track titled Fireworks. Brought Anthony Floyd. Shout out the Dead Lighters duo, Anthony Floyd. Let's get it, baby. 5 minutes and 9 seconds. Okay, I guarantee you this has a crazy intro or something. Watch. I'm gonna call it now. July 4th, 2023. So, damn. Relatively new. Literally only 20 days ago. So, let's get into it. Jordan Andrew, Fireworks. Let's go.
Need to break it down, I guess it fireworks. I pick up everything around, see what makes a fire first. Footsteps shake the ground on a little tyrant search. Let them feel the panic, let them feel how fire hurts. Need to break it down, I guess it fireworks. I pick up everything around, see what makes a fire first. Nothing left, cause fireworks. Let's reset with fireworks.
Damn.
Ready to blow, ready to go. I think it's worth a shot on target, what you aiming for.
What a vibe.
Need to break it down, I guess the fireworks. I pick up everything around, see what makes a fire first. Footsteps shake the ground on a little tyrant search. Let them feel the panic, let them feel how fire hurts. Need to break it down, I guess the fireworks. I pick up everything around, see what makes a fire first. Nothing left, cause fireworks. Let's reset with fireworks. Ready to bloom, ready to go. I think it's worth a shot on target. What you aiming for? What you aiming for? Ready to blow, ready to go. I think it's worth a shot on target. What you aiming for? I said it before. Damn, hear me so. Need to break it down, I guess that fireworks. I pick up everything around, see what makes a fire first. Footsteps shake the ground on a little tyrant search. Let them feel the panic, let them feel how fire hurts. Need to break it down, I guess that fireworks. I pick up everything around, see what makes a fire first. Nothing's left, cause fireworks. Let's reset with fireworks.
The wordplay here is so crazy. What a good fade out too. Everything was perfect about this. Like, I like how there was so much room for the instrumental to kind of breathe, and it just kind of like does its own thing. Especially when it comes to like Anthony Floyd and that guitar, man. Yeah, big fan, big fucking fan for sure. Okay. So, shit. Let's break this one down. We're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental. Talk about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of fireworks. Um. Oh yeah, wait. The fact that this was dropped on July 4th is kind of like that's kind of cool. Okay. Okay. So let's break this down. We're talking about the instrumental first. Let's talk mix. Mix is great. Nothing clashing at all. Nothing too overbearing. I like the drums. Truly no gripes with this at all. In terms of the mix, especially with like it's like a chill instrumental, right? But that guitar is super heavy. So sometimes mixing that in itself can be a challenge. But as far as the instrumental goes, I definitely think they nailed it for sure. I think both of you guys did a really good job. Shining Star is kind of interesting because there's so much stuff I liked about this instrumental, but I want to say the melody or the melodies realistically. Because the drums were definitely keeping up the bounce, and they brought a little bit of that like lo-fi energy. But I feel like the melodies here were super prominent and super filled with like theatrical like type of energy. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say definitely the melodies, definitely. Um, just based off the first listen for sure. The instrumental solid, definitely the mells. Um, hmm. Let's talk vocals. So again, a vocal mix is great. I've always been a huge fan of Jordan Andrews' mix. Regardless of SLM or features or anything like that, I've just like there's never anything like that I could be like, oh yeah, like you know, I have this gripe with this mix or this mix here. No, like this is another artist where you can genuinely count on them having like a crispy mix. Like you really can. So when it comes to vocals, excellent. Leveled, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Um, I've always just been a fan of like the reverb and like how Jordan like sounds on certain vocal tracks. So maybe I'm biased, but I do like this mix. But I like their mix in general. You know what I mean? So, but Shining Star when it comes to vocals. All right. So, a couple things again I really like about this. Um, Structure is definitely one, but I love the delivery and the hook has honestly the whole song is like one big rhyme scheme. You know what I mean? Like the whole song is wordplay, but like the hook is like, man, kind of like hits you in that spot. Especially when it comes to like wordplay. Like I know a lot of like raw hip hop fans are like are definitely the kind of people that would like appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because I was like, wait a minute, like it's just the amount of wordplay that was there was like really solid to me. But I do like the because I'm torn between writing itself, but the delivery was right there with it. So I don't know. I'm very 50-50 on it. But if I had to pick, probably the writing, just because the rhymes and the wordplay and the punchlines and the delivery is only part of it. So definitely the writing, for sure. So the instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So fireworks. Let's talk aesthetics, right? Definitely Michael on this art for sure. Super super talented graphic designer. Coming back with their like signature, almost like mannequin figure style with like the Deadlighters, Jordan Andrew, SLM kind of colors, right? Those oranges, those reds, those like shades of black and brown and like even this like white patch in the middle. Like the color scheme for Deadlighters and SLM and Jordan Andrew have always been one of my favorites. But this cover in particular for a track called Fireworks, I definitely think nailed it as far as how this track makes you feel or how it like wants you to feel. So I definitely like this cover choice a lot. And Michael did a really good job on that. So overall theme, right? I mean, Fireworks was like the no-brainer title. I definitely think Fireworks was a great choice as far as the title. But I wouldn't say like the track is about fireworks, right? It's almost like a metaphor, and there's almost like so much like wordplay and subliminals in here that you got to pay attention. And I think Jordan did a really good job when it comes to rhyming, when it comes to actually like having shit make sense that's like also kind of creative and like sporadic. So I like the combination of everything going on here, and that's why I chose writing as the shining star for vocals, just because I feel like the theme was like instantly clear, and like you could appreciate the wordplay as well, which I think is like a win-win. You know what I mean? Like you can get a clear theme and you can appreciate the wordplay and the writing. W. So with that said, huge shout out to Jordan Andrew. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter as well. They are approaching 340 followers on the Bird app. Go show them some love on Twitter, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 subaroonies. I believe we are one sub away. So make sure you go check out the channel if you haven't already. And if it's something you're interested in, definitely go drop a sub. Because of course, as you guys know, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there on the channel. Make sure you go show the channel and these artists some love. Let's get it, baby. So, let me just double check. Make sure we didn't miss any Patreons. We got Ryuki. We got the homie TDG, Blank Thought. We just got finished with Jordan. Yeah, no, we're good. We're solid. Huge shout out to all the patrons that submitted tonight. Of course, we'd never expect all of our patrons to submit every single week, right? But for those of you that do, thank you guys. And feel free to clip anything from the show or anything like that. And that goes for the whole community as well, right? Feel free to use any parts of the show for promotion. Just make sure you tag us, and we'll give you a little shout out as well. But on to the rest of the community, my friends. So our wonderful community has a stack of submissions for us tonight. And first up is a returning artist that comes through every once in a while, but this is a very talented alternative artist by the name of No Name Dread. Now, like I said, it's been a little bit since we've heard from Dread. I want to say only like a month. Probably about a month or so. So yeah, this will be very interesting, very interesting. And I believe this made SoundCloud Sunday yesterday as well. So this will be cool. This will be really cool to react to on the show. So let's pop this open in a new tab and see what we got here. I like this art a lot, and the parental advisory PNG as well. Okay, so super fresh, 3 days old, riding by my lonely, brought No Name Dread, by No Name Dread. Let's get into it. Okay.
Always time to postpone. Try to copy me clone. Y'all ain't shit, y'all phone. I ain't picking my phone. Lover got me in the zone. Riding by my lonely. Riding by my lonely. You know what's gold. What comes around goes around. No, I see it let everyone know. Feel alone even in my hometown. Try to shake this feeling, but I know I can't. Dopamine is selling, then back down the face. They might need some healing, it might be too late. They might need some healing, it might be too late. Out of my mental, and they sit down.
Oh my.
But I got now several. Any thoughts got me feeling resentful. Plot twist, my go deep like a Loch Ness. Watch this, on track like a botch. Stop this, ever dishonest. Honest, sorry I'm one of the artists. I promise, on carcass, I'll harness this darkness. I'm toxic, narcotics, I'm making me nauseous. Always time to postpone. Try to copy me clone. Y'all ain't shit, y'all phone. I ain't picking my phone. Lover got me in the zone. Riding by my lonely.
Holy fuck. You can tell that there was like a lot of like love put into that one for sure. Like there was a lot of fucking love put into that shit. Like damn, I agree. I agree, Ryuki, for sure. For sure, I agree. Fuck. Wow. What a comeback from Dread. Holy shit. Well done. Well done. Let's break this down. So, fuck. We're talking about three things. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Riding by My Lonely. So, I kind of like this theme too. But let's talk instrumental. So, self-prod. I feel like now that I think about it, I feel like there was this weird like resurgence like last year of so many artists that were doing like self-production, and now I feel like there isn't as many. At least like in terms of the show. Like yeah, they're out there, but like I feel like not as many either like submit to the show or like produce their own shit anymore. Like they just use other people's beats. Which I mean like granted like creatively like you never want to like work on some shit that you produced anyway like all the time. You know, you want to use other people's shit. But in terms of like Dread, it's like, Like this is one artist that like knows like what they want in an instrumental, like regardless. Like there hasn't been really anything that like we haven't seen Dread cook up. Like I feel like Dread is like one of those producers that can cook up anything they want in terms of like the vision they have in their head. But we have seen them work with like a wide range of producers, so a couple ways you could go about that. But regardless, let's talk instrumental. So mix is fucking stellar. Um just the right amount of mud. Everything knocks like really hard. Vocals sit nice. I like the vocal pitch as well, but as far as the instrumental goes, strictly speaking, the instrumental, um, really well done. Really well done. And like all the little shit too, like just the small little things throughout the instrumental that made the world of difference was another thing that I noted. Like it's really about the little shit sometimes when it comes to production, and Dread definitely like um took their time, for sure took their time. Um, but as far as the mix goes, excellent mix. Again, nothing clashing to overbearing, nice and level. I like the mud. Um, I like how hard it knocks. Perfect to me, to be honest with you. Um, Instrumental Shining Star. I love the melody here. It's bringing like a dark pop kind of vibe, but these drums are so bouncy and they fucking knock. Like the mud on these are like really solid. Like sometimes when you have too much mud, it can sound weird, but I feel like there was the right amount of mud here on these drums that just gave them that grit that they needed. So drums all day, and even more specific drum selection. I think Dread did a good job picking drums on this as well. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely in drums. Vocals. Vocal mix is great. Now, we've seen Dread in a couple different vocal styles. Pitched up, pitched down, regular vocals, different types of vocals. Much like a couple artists here on the show. But Dread does such a good job with like the down pitch vocals that like we have yet to come across another artist that does that style as well as No Name Dread does. I've always been a fan of it. Like you can go backtrack to like last year's submissions earlier in the year. I've always been a big fan of this style on Dread just because I feel like they deliver it well and they carry it well. So the vocal mix is really solid to me. Again, vocals sit nicely on the instrumental. Everything cuts through nicely. Not too many gripes with the vocal mix whatsoever, to be honest. Shining Star with the vocals. I like I like the whole track. The whole track. Writing, hook, delivery. Kind of hard for me to pick this one because this is like a really cool comeback track for No Name Dread. Just because we haven't heard from them in a while. It's been like a month, maybe longer, but definitely like really cool to see them like pop out with this. But I don't know. I really love the Nah, it's got to be the flow and cadence. The flow and cadence in this second verse is crazy. Flow and cadence, delivery is like a close second, but definitely flow and cadence. I'm tripping. I don't even know why. Yeah, nah, flow and cadence for sure. But delivery is a close second too, and then the writing right behind it. So instrumental solid, definitely drums. Vocal solid, definitely flow and cadence. Delivery is a close second. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. One thing that I noticed right off rip was the clear parental advisory sticker on this, and I thought that was a nice little touch. Like, again, I'm biased towards the small shit. I love the little shit that kind of like it just kind of like makes certain covers for me. Just like with instrumentals, like you just do the little shit, you know what I mean? It just makes all the difference. And in terms of like aesthetics, I feel like this made all the difference for me. And then the way that this is like fried over a little bit, couple of filters, a little bit of grain. I think Dread did a really good job with this cover. Assuming that they did make it, yeah, I think Dread did a really good job, for sure. Overall theme: Riding by My Lonely. Pretty self-explanatory title, right? But Dread definitely dives into a little bit more detail on like why they might be, you know, riding dolo by themselves. You know, sometimes, you know, life has it that way. And I definitely think that Dread expands upon that slightly throughout the whole track as to where like there's a couple of reasons why you just gotta, you know, it's better to be solo sometimes than it is, you know, be surrounded by, you know, shitty people that don't care about you, shitty personal relationships, you know what I mean? Like, this is a song that has like a really like a somber message, but it's a positive message. You know what I mean? Because um, Dread has always been a writer and an artist that delivers their emotions in like such an interesting way to me. Like as a listener, and especially for like when I dive in for like a track that I haven't heard. Dread just has a way with words, and again, it goes back to that theory of how, you know, certain artists and writers and even producers just bring out certain emotions in people or bring out certain thoughts that they couldn't put into words. You know what I mean? So Dread's definitely one of those artists for me that kind of has that Midas touch. You know what I mean? For sure. So with that said, a huge shout out to No Name Dread. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you follow Dread on SoundCloud. Literally 1 away from 220. And of course, make sure you follow Dread on Twitter. They are literally 9 away from 130. We'll show Dread some love on the bird app, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Bunnies YouTube channel if you haven't already. Approaching 190 sub-earnings on the main channel. We're about 1 away. I believe we're at 189 right now. So go show the channel some love, man. I put in fucking work uploading on that channel, so definitely go check out some content over there and subscribe if you're interested and you like what you see. And for those of you that already have subscribed, you've been subscribed, whether you've been there from fucking day one or fucking yesterday, thank you. We appreciate you. But let's get back into it. So that was our first community submission of the night. Up next, we got the homie Mugen. Now, Mugen is an artist that submits pretty consistently to SoundCloud Sunday. But I believe this is one of the first times they've been here on the show, which is kind of interesting. I think that's kind of cool, right? You know, I always like it when artists transfer over from SoundCloud Sunday into the show or from the show to SoundCloud Sunday. You know what I mean? Feel free to submit to all of our playlists and anything we open submissions for, feel free to fucking go crazy with them. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, first time submitting artist Mugen. A track titled Summer Nights. Starting to get steady with the drops, dropping an EP soon. Okay, good for you. Good for you. Getting a little schedule up. Love to see that. Okay. I like this cover. I'm trying to see what song that is. Doja Cat. It's Doja Cat. Okay, let's get into it. Mugen, Summer Nights. Let's get it.
Summertime is fine. It gon' be alright. Sitting around every day, waiting for summer nights. Waiting for summer nights. Yeah, waiting for summer nights. Yeah, waiting for summer nights. Yeah, smoking that shit, man. I'm zooted and booted. I'm really all out of my mind. Summertime is fine. I'm stacking my bitches be pretty, my money be pretty, I'm feeling sublime. Hey, she popping her titty by acting so ditty, she shaking her ass and her thighs. That bitch is a freak when she off of the leash and her man do not know he will die. What a surprise, not really these bitches be lying. Not really cause these bitches wearing disguises, they really be wasting your time. What a surprise, not really these bitches be lying. Not really cause these bitches wearing disguises, they really be wasting your time. Hard. I've been going so
that ad lib
so nice. It feels like, you know, when someone roll up, sit with a bad bitch and be like, hey, summertime, it's fine. My money be pretty, I'm feeling sublime. It's fine. I'm stacking my bitches be pretty. Summertime, it's fine. Summertime, it's fine. Smoking that shit, man, I'm zooted and booted. I'm really all out of my mind. Yeah, I hate the heat, but I love me July. Love me some cold, but I keep me the fire. Run all the way up until I get tired. You was not with me when I had to struggle. Off of the strength, it was off of the muscle. And I learned to fight, yeah, I learned to tussle. And I learned to get money, I learned to hustle. I was just down and I was just broke. And none of these people could bring me no hope. None of these people could give me no something. And I don't know nothing if I don't know bluffing. Spending that money might trick on a bitch. Some of the night in the winter, my fit.
That's some rare shit right there. That's some rare shit. Well done. Well done. I like that. That gave very much like unique underground vibes for sure. Like something about that felt summertime-ish. I definitely feel like you nailed the summertime vibes for sure. So with that said, let's break this down. We're gonna talk about 3 things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Summer Nights. So let's talk instrumental. Super unique instrumental. Slightly ambient, a little bit of like alternate pop, a little bit of plug. Like I wouldn't really like put one genre on this instrumental, but I like the instrumental choice nonetheless. I definitely think this prod did a good job. As far as the instrumental itself goes, mix is solid, nothing clashing to overbearing, super level, super well rounded. No gripes for the instrumental mix at all. Shining Star, I like the drums and the drum patterns and the structure, but the melody gave off that big summer vibe for me, which obviously is the main theme of this track. So it's like, fuck, that melody is a no-brainer for me. I definitely like the summertime vibe that gave for sure. But the drums are a close second though. I definitely still like the drums. So the instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals. So a vocal mix. Again, this is technically a first time submitting artist, even though we see them over on SoundCloud Sunday often. But as far as the show, this is the first we've heard of their mix, here live. So it's like, okay, we finally get a chance to actually react to it in person live. So one thing that I'm big on here is how raw it is, but it's still super crisp, still well rounded. It's one of those very much like such an organic mix, and you don't need to go too crazy for certain artists, and then sometimes certain artists just kind of really prefer that style. You know what I mean? So to each their own. That's also another reason why I don't critique mixes to that degree. You know what I mean? Unless I think something's like too quiet or overblown or something. But other than that, sometimes mixes can be pretty much a preference. But when it comes to the vocals, I like this vocal mix a lot for sure. I like the writing a lot when it comes to Shining Star. I feel like the writing was a great aspect, but the flow and cadence got me with this instrumental. Like you could not like just bop your head with this one. You know what I mean? Like you were bopping on this for sure. Just due to the flow and cadence. You know what I mean? I just feel like Mugen was just So that's one thing that like very tippable, very fucking tippable. Writing's a close second for sure. Structure too, but flow and cadence and delivery blew it out the water, man. Love the flow and cadence, definitely. Okay, so instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely flow and cadence. Let's talk theme. So I mean aesthetics, right? Kind of a no-brainer here. It looks like a nice, warm 12, 11 p.m., maybe 1 a.m. kind of summer night. Like, bro, those nights are the best. Those nights are the best, and you're tripping if you say otherwise, bro. You know what I mean? If you've been in the show for quite a while, you know what I'm, when I say, like, just cruising on those, like, late-night highway drives. This is exactly the picture I'm talking about, for sure. Like, there's a picture to describe that. It's this one. Definitely. So a great cover choice, in my opinion, for sure. Summer Nights. I mean, I definitely think Mugen nailed it when it comes to giving that summertime feel, not only with the instrumental choice, but with the writing, right? There's so much subliminal bars in here about summer, summertime events, Just kind of like bringing back that like not like old school, but like somewhat of a throwback kind of like also like looking towards the future kind of vibe. You know what I mean? You could dive into it more and more deeply, but at the end of the day, I definitely feel like Mugen nailed it when it comes to giving that summertime freestyle feeling. You know what I mean? Really nailed it for me. As a first time listener. So with that said, huge shout out to Mugen. Make sure you go follow them on motherfucking SoundCloud. They are 2 away from 70. That's a great milestone. Go show them some love in the cloud. And of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter as well. They're approaching 140, about 9 away. Go show them some love on the bird app, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 Subarunis. We're about 1 away. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the main channel. So go show the channel and these artists some love, my friends. So we are approaching the halfway point of the show. We're about halfway through submissions or so. So you guys know the drill. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to go hit the bathroom, and you guys should do the same. If you need to go take a smoke break, go take a drink, go fucking walk your dog, go get a snack, go do what you ever got to do, because now's your chance. And we'll be right back with more reactions, more reviews, and more good stuff from Music Mondays, episode 131. We'll be RB. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with the Music Mondays podcast. I hope you're well, hope you're chilling, hope you had a good break, but let's get back into it. Let's see here. So we left off with the homie Mugen. Huge shout out to Mugen. Up next would be Ryuki, but we already reacted to Ryuki. Because they're Music Mondays Patreon, so huge shout out to Ryuki. But up next would be the homie Oathkeeper, but they submitted their track as soon as we closed submissions. So if we have some time at the end of the show, we'll definitely wrap back around to Oathkeeper. But up next in order is the homie Braden. Now, Music Mondays and Braden definitely have some work coming very, very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But Braden is a very, very alternative and talented vocalist. They submitted a track titled Follow Me. Let's check this out. Super new. Got the homie Union. Okay. Let's see what we got here, chat. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's get into it. Braden, Follow Me with Union.
Every day I get a little more crazy. I think I need somebody else to save me. I wanna make sure that you don't hate me. I wanna make sure that you want me to follow you.
Jesus.
To the end, you're my best friend. You help me. Follow me into the dark. Baby, take my heart. It's yours to keep. I hope you don't leave me with no reason. Girl, you're helping me fight off my demons. So follow me into the dark. Baby, take my heart. It's yours to keep. You play me from the start. I check your time and now you're gone. Your love caught me off guard. You're ripping out my heart. You treat me like I'm worthless, but girl, I don't deserve this. My life is into pieces. Your love, oh girl, I'm needing. All my life, you were never by my side. You'd waste my time, but I don't care. I wanna be with you. Follow you to the end. You're my best friend. You help me. Follow me into the dark. Baby, take my heart. It's yours to keep. I hope you don't leave me with no reason. Girl, you're helping me fight off my demons. So follow me into the dark. Baby, take my heart. It's yours to keep.
Jesus. Well fucking done. This was like so theatrical and this was just super filled with fucking emotion, man. So let's break this down. We're talking about three things. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of Follow Me. So let's talk instrumental, man. Instrumental, wow. Okay, so let's start off with the mix. The mix is fucking stellar. Super wide, super spacey. Everything is like so prominent. One of the finer mixes I've heard of the night, to be honest with you. Super crisp, super level. Nothing that really comes to mind that I have gripes with at all. Everything cuts through nicely. Vocals sit nice. You know what I mean? And I just like the overall instrumental choice. So yeah, big fan of this mix, definitely. Everything was just so prominent, so prominent. Instrumental shining star. I really love the melody. I'm leaning pretty heavy towards melody, for a couple of reasons. It has so much emotion and so prominent, but the drums are super bouncy as well. But I like the structure too. Structure kind of has a little bit of spice to it, but I'm still leaning towards melody. Definitely. Definitely this melody. It has the proper amount of motion that you'd want from a track like this, so definitely melody. Um so let's talk vocals. Um Mix is great, nothing clashing too overbearing whatsoever. Vocals definitely sit nice, like I said. Um again, Braden's one of those artists that has like a super crisp mix. Like over the last like 4 weeks or so, I haven't had one kind of like iffy thought about their mix, especially when it comes to vocals. Like their mix is very fucking consistent. That's one thing you definitely got to point out with this is the mixes are just they're just so on point. So on point. So mix is solid. Shining Star. I really like the hook for the delivery, but realistically, the delivery for the whole track is like really nice. Um, hmm. I might say the hook. I might say the hook. I'm not gonna lie. Just because it was so like, it was very passionate and honest. And the way it was delivered was just like the icing on the cake for me. So yeah, definitely the hook. Definitely the hook. The instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics. You guys know Braden from their very notorious cover art. They're relatively consistent with their covers, which I've always been fond of, definitely. But like we always say, there's no like actual rule to it. It's just something that I've noticed for Braden. And they've definitely stated that they like to change it up every once in a while as well. But this one's perfect for this track in particular because it has these two ghosts holding hands, and for a track titled "Follow Me," like this is just perfect. They're just super cute, bro. Super cute. Um, so yeah, great choice nonetheless. Um, so aesthetics on point. The overall theme, "Follow Me," right? Relatively simple one. It's gonna resonate deeper for the people that have kind of been in a situation like this, as to where um you're in almost like a situation ship with another person, or some personal things are going down, and sometimes you get into rocky roads with people and you can never tell where they stand, or um you just want things to go a certain way. And writing these is always such a bittersweet kind of thing, because you get all that emotion out, but at the same time, like, the fact that you're even writing things like that is always like, wow. So I feel like this is a very powerful song at its core. I definitely think it's a very like not like positive track, but like sonically it makes you want to get up and dance. It's a vibe, it's good vibes. When you actually look at it from its core, it's definitely something that's like very tragic. You know what I mean? It's a very sad scenario. And I think Braden did a really good job kind of breaking that down, and really being honest with themselves, but also giving the people and listeners kind of something to like understand them deeper, whether it be through the instrumental or how they delivered, or things like that. But I definitely feel like Braden nailed this as far as like having a song that was easy to get behind, regardless of whether you resonated with it or not. You know. So with that said, a huge shout out to Braden. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Braden on Twitter. They are 4 followers away from 30. Make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, and of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 subscribers. We are 1 away, so make sure you go show the channel some love, man. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, and we see you. Much love. So, my friends, let's continue on. Um, Up next, we got the homie Filter. Now, Filter came through last week's stream super, super late. Um, and they stayed through, and that was super, super cool of them. So huge shout out to Filter. But they submitted a track titled Deep End, and their caption is Most Unfinished Filter Submission. So we got some rough here from Filter. Let's see what we got here, chat. Let's pop this open, a new tab. Bam. We got Penis Core as the fucking as the genre. Got a little bit of lyrics and description as well. Okay. I'm down. Let's get into it. Filter Deep End, exclusive, unreleased. Premiering on Music Mondays right now.
Driving me crazy. Just tryna pay the bills, maybe I don't need a lady. Think I'm off the deep, but nobody can save me. Just save me, just save. I don't even know where to start. I've been learning my man's pride. What's the point in even being kind? Think I'm off the deep, but nobody can save me. I don't even know where to start. Nobody can save me. When I say it's for real, I'm on a mission to act on all of my fears till I get it quick. Give a fight, I'm out like till I got someone that gives a fuck. I've had enough with other folks. Hard push, swallow, get some bottle choke.
Oh, that's hard.
I'm on my own boat. Living around her.
Damn, man. Let this ride out for sure.
Driving me crazy. Just tryna pay the bills, maybe I don't need a lady. Think I'm off the deep, but nobody can save me. Just save me, just save me. I don't even know where to start. I've been living my man's pride. What's the point in even being kind? Think I'm off the deep, but nobody can save me. I don't even know where to start. Nobody can save me.
Well done. Well fucking done. That's crazy. I almost feel like shit. If you just finish up that other verse, this song is perfect. Like, this song is so perfect. Really well done. Really, really well done. Okay, so much to talk about. Let's break this down. We're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Deep End. So, man, much to discuss here. So we have 4 prods on this instrumental. and kind of not really a shocker just because it has so much personality and like there's so many moving parts to this instrumental. It kind of doesn't shock me that there's 4 producers on here, um, just because it's that intricate. But with that said, the mix is solid. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Proper amount of mud for sure. I definitely like the way the drums sound. Mells are great. Everything's leveled. I didn't notice anything really that like super stuck out to me. So I like the instrumental mix a lot, definitely, especially with Filter's vocals. Um, Shining Star. I really like the melody, definitely, and the drums for sure. But I feel like an underrated part about this is the structure. So, however this was laid out, uh, like in the time, was really solid. To be honest with you, because like listening to it now, I was just kind of like intrigued because it's not one of those structures that had to be too crazy, but there's just a little like pizzazz. There's just a little spice to it. You know what I mean? So I feel like the structure was a very like underrated part of this instrumental. So definitely structure for me. Definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely structure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is great. I've always been a fan of Filtered's vocal mix. Nice and gritty, has like that rawness to it, but it's super crispy as well. Definitely fits nice on this instrumental for sure. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Definitely have their own space. I've always been a big fan of Filter's vocals, like I said. Another one of those artists that kind of has that consistent mix that you can always count on to be like really hard. So, no gripes with the vocal mix at all whatsoever. Super solid. I really like this hook. I really, really like this hook. That might be the shining star here. Because not only is the hook like performed super well, but it kind of explains the theme and like where Filter's coming from when they wrote this track. Like right off the rip. And then the verses just kind of expand upon that. Well, the one verse that we have here, but yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with the hook just because it was so like emotional and powerful, yet like super easy to break down and like you could feel that emotion for sure. So definitely the hook. So the instrumental is solid. Um, Definitely the structure. Vocal solid. Definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. So exclusive unreleased Filter. Not gonna take the cover too much into consideration. Just because we've seen this texture before. This is definitely the kind of like a cover filler when you know you have some unreleased or you know just kind of a placeholder. So again, won't dive too much into that, but overall theme. Filter definitely expresses a lot of emotion in this track. More particularly with them kind of realizing that maybe they are better off on their own until they have like a bunch of real people around them or people that actually like give a fuck about what they do or even just their well-being. And I feel like that's a very like it's very like it's a very common feeling, but the way Filter is describing it is very honest. You know what I mean? Because it's not as easy as like actually like nobody really like describes like how dark that can be if you don't have like a lot of solid people around you or at least one solid person, right? Like yeah, sure, like it's like a healthy thing to be alone and like not have a crew or just kind of like realize that like you know certain people aren't around anymore or whatever the case may be, right? And I feel like Filter definitely expanded upon like the darker sides of feeling like that in an honest way. And I think that's important. I think that's important to do in any song. You don't want to like sugarcoat shit and if you're feeling something, music's like the perfect way to get it out. So I feel like Filter did a really good job being honest with their emotions, but being like clear cut as well. Um, so huge shout out to Filter. Thank you so much for letting us premiere this on Music Mondays. Make sure you go show Filter some love on SoundCloud. They are 9 away from 230. And of course, make sure you go show some love on Twitter. They are 8 followers away from 30. Damn, let's go, man. Go get Filter some go show Filter some love. Talented motherfucker right there, bro. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 subroonies. We upload 2 times a week. You guys know the drill. Every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff available on the main channel. So go check out the main channel and subscribe if you like what you see. And if you've already been subbed, we appreciate you when we see you. Dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, up next, we got the homie Zeldelphia. Now, it's been a while since we've heard from Zel, man. Probably since 2022 or very early in 2023. But a super talented, independent hip-hop artist. And they submitted a project titled Lamb of God. But you guys know the drill when it comes to projects. We usually just go over the first track and really react to that and really give some thoughts on you know, the first track of the album, break down the track. You guys know the drill. Just of course, because we don't have time to break down a full album here in the show, but that'll definitely be a segment that comes in the future, most definitely. But so we have Zel, and they submitted Lamb of God, like I said, the full project, and the first track is titled Call His Name. Let's see here. Okay. The cover goes really fucking hard. Like, really, really hard. Okay. Let's get into it. Call His Name, Zeldelphia, let's go. Oh shit.
Tracks in my arms, you see the purple, but this pain in my head is hidden from you. I sit in front you, then I grin in front you. There he is in my head saying they don't want you. It's over and over, loops in the cycle. I think I control you, then you load the rifle. Never did I want to feel this pain. Never did I want to carry shame. Never did I want to stay the same. So Lord, hear this cry when I call your name. Day and night I cry to you. You see it all, I can't lie to you. I can't hide from you, even if I wanted to. I lay it all down before you, it's uncomfortable. Stand still, but in my heart I pace. I hit the weed hard just to keep this face from snarling. I'm crumbling like decaying flesh when it's marbling. I'm your ottoman, I'm bowed down, begging for your heart again. I come apart again. I need your friendship. From you I drifted far again, drowning in this raging sea that I'm lost within. Hell, never did I want to feel this pain. Never did I want to carry shame. Never did I want to stay the same. So Lord, hear this cry when I call your name. Live governed by the flesh, live in death. Live within the spirit, you inherit life, love and forgiveness.
I'm praying for my dad, please heal the sickness. Take him only if it's you, or leave him here for more years. I'm selfish too, I'm a bothersome man. I'm praying with both my hands, press together my feet, crush the venom of the serpents beheaded. Servants forever, I serve you and whoever need anything from me. This is my giving, music and poetry, yo, the shit that I'm living. Ain't no pretending, this is Z.
Wow. That was a powerful ass track. Like, let me tell you, that was super filled with emotion, but like raw emotion. Wow. Okay. So much to dive into here, and plenty to talk about. So you guys know the drill. Let's break this one down. We're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental. Talk about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of Call's Name. So, man, oh man, oh man. Let's talk instrumental. This instrumental has a lot of personality to it and a lot of fucking, what's the word? Spunk. Very much a lot of spunk. A couple different elements, definitely a lot of alternative elements. Real solid hip hop elements. I like the sound selection as well. But let's talk mix. So the mix is really fucking solid. Like really solid. This might be one of the best Zell mixes I've heard. Period. To be honest with you. Strictly instrumental speaking. I love the way this instrumental sounds. I definitely think this producer fucking destroyed this. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Again, sound selection was solid. Levels are good. I like the structure. No gripes at all with this instrumental. Not at all. Shining Star. Would be the melody. The melody gave it this like ambient kind of feeling. Somewhat of an ambient feeling, which I thought was like very interesting, but the drums had so much like aggression that I feel like you got to talk about the drums as well. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn between those two. Again, I like the structure, but I think the melody was the main attraction here in terms of like bringing a feeling for sure. So definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals. So vocal mix is great. Again, I feel like Zell's vocals are like super crisp but very raw and very honest and very much like you can like the passion was left in the recording for sure, but it's very much super cleaned up, very crisp, very well rounded. They sit nice on the instrumental. Yeah, like thinking back on it, definitely no gripes. Really solid vocal mix, and again, one of the better mixes overall we've had from Zell. So that's a fact. I feel like delivery and flow and cadence are a really good choice here when it comes to the Shining Star for vocals. But the writing was so specific and so detailed and so well executed, I feel like it'd be wrong to not say writing. Especially for a track that like is the first on like I think a 6-track project. So this is definitely a song that's gonna hook you, right? Because we're not gonna break down the whole album, but when it comes to like the first track in a project or an album, you want it to hook somebody, whether it is like a 50-second intro, or it's like one of the best tracks on the project, or it's just hard hitting and you know it's going to hook people in and make them want to listen to the rest of the project. There's a couple of approaches for that, but this one in particular definitely is gonna hook a first time listener and really make them curious on not only the rest of the project but even Zell as like an artist, you know. So um yeah, yeah, well done. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So let's see here. I'm big on this cover. I am big on this cover because like less is more sometimes, right? Like you could have like really erratic, crazy high quality covers, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but sometimes less is more, and I think this is one of those covers that kind of proves it, right? Super simple. You have the basic text, and that is Zellian heartbeats. So artist names, prod name, project name. I feel like this kind of nailed it, and it brings that kind of like ominous feel to it. It definitely does for sure. So I like this choice for uh a project cover for sure. Overall theme, this was super descriptive and definitely was very like spiritual, religious, and I feel like Zelly was super honest here, and so many like important lines, like especially like the one about his family, and there are just so many bars in here where you knew Zelly was like very serious about this song, and it made you take the song serious when you listen to it, and I think that's a really redeeming quality about this. Totally worth another listen, especially if this is something you enjoy. I would definitely run this back and dissect these lyrics even more, just because Zelly had so much like to offer in this track that I feel like one listen definitely doesn't do it justice. But I definitely think Zelly nailed the spiritual theme of this project and this track in particular. Definitely. With that said, huge shout out to Zelladelphia. Make sure you go follow them on Bandcamp. And of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They are approaching 410. Make sure you go show them some followers on the bird, man. Go show them some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. Approaching 190 subaroonies on the main channel, so go check out the main channel and consider subscribing. Because again, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there. So if you like what you see, consider subscribing. And of course, huge shout out to everybody that's already subbed, showing love, dropping likes, dropping comments, whether you're a day one or you just subscribed yesterday. We appreciate you and thank you. So let's see here. All right, so we just left off with the homie Zelly, and up next we get the homie Mac 2 times, an artist that has been having a really solid 2023. Mac has been expanding on their style, really expanding on the styles and genres that they've already gone into, but super talented alternative hip hop artist. Submitted a track titled Lost My Worth. Let's see what we got here, chat. So we'll pop this open a new tab, pause that right quick. Right quick. And then let's see here. Actually, another like really solid Mac 2 times cover. Like something about the Mac 2 times cover is like so unique. It's like the aesthetics of it for some reason are just so unique. I don't know what it is about it. It's just so unique. But I don't know. I just a fan of their covers, man. I'm just a fan of their covers. I don't know why. But let's get into it. Mac 2 times, Lost My Worth.
Hey, cuz, what you saying? Cameron, you get it.
Feel like I'm sitting at the edge of the earth. Sometimes I don't know my worth. Wanna explain how I'm doing, but can't put it into words. Swear I'm really going through it. Feel like I lost my worth. Feel like I've been taking all these L's since birth. Lately I've been trying to reverse this curse. sick and tired of going back and forth, but I'ma fight through it. My mom don't want me to leave her. She don't want me to leave I just wish that I could take back the time that I lost. I give up anything to get back my loved ones. I'm so distraught. I knew this was gonna come a day, but they ain't tell me at what cost. I promise I ain't gon' forget the lessons that you taught. I ain't tryna relapse cause drugs already fought. But I can't help that I see them all around. It's like they tryna reel me in and I'm caught. Like they tryna reel me in and I'm caught.
Damn, Mac.
Can't help that I see them all around. Like they tryna reel me in and I'm caught. Feel like I'm sitting at the edge of the earth. Sometimes I don't know my worth. Wanna explain how I'm doing, but can't put into words. Swear I'm really going through it. Feel like I lost my worth. Feel like I've been taking all these L's since birth. Lately I've been trying to reverse this curse. I'm so sick and tired of going back and forth, but I'ma fight through it. My mom don't want me to leave her. They coming back to me, I know I need help, but I don't see any. I guess this my way of telling you I actually need plenty. If these drugs ain't really helping, why the fuck I got so many? Might fuck around and pop 230s even though it should be 20. If I had a cent for every time I don't think about them, I'll be left with a penny. Tryna leave, but most times they won't let me. Tryna run, somehow they always get me. Can't shake these losses off, they weighing too heavy. Trapped in the abyss, the bell just ding. It's time to go, but I ain't ready. Time to go, I ain't ready. Bell just ding. It's time to go, but I ain't ready. Feel like I'm sitting at the edge of the earth. Sometimes I don't know my worth. Wanna explain how I'm doing, but can't put it into words. Swear I'm really going through it. Feel like I lost my worth. Feel like I've been taking all these L's since birth. Lately I've been trying to reverse this curse. I'm so sick and tired of going back and forth, but I'ma fight through it. My mom don't want me to leave her.
Damn. Well fucking done. Mac 2 times back on the bullshit, man. Well done. Well fucking done. Okay. So, much to break down here, much to discuss, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Alright. Let's break this down. So, let's talk instrumental, let's talk vocals, let's talk theme. So, as far as the instrumental goes, love the mix. I love Mac 2 times instrumental choices. That's been something I've been a real fan of from Mac 2 times for quite a minute now. Their knack for choosing instrumentals, even when they want to like go outside the box, I think that's really solid. They just know what they want and they're very like dominant about it, and I like that. I think every artist needs to like know what they want, even if they want to expand and they might not know in the moment. And it's just one of those things you just gotta you just need to push through. And I feel like Mac is such an interesting artist in that aspect, as to where I just feel like every time they choose instrumentals, they know what they want, straight up. Like it's very interesting. Just something I've always noticed. But as far as this instrumental goes, mix is great. Nothing clashy, too overbearing. Drums knock. Male kind of has its own space. Everything's kind of like really laid out nicely. Levels are solid, well rounded. No gripes with the instrumental mix at all. I definitely think it's solid. Shining Star might be the melody. And that vocal sample that's used is pretty subtle, but it's really well utilized. I definitely really like the vocal sample a lot. Yeah, probably the melody, to be honest, just because it brings a lot of that emotion. And the drums can like keep up the balance and really make it like top tier. So definitely the melody for sure. Let's talk vocals. So when it comes to vocals, again, something changed with Mac's mix some months ago. I'm not sure how many months ago, but after a certain point, Mac just leveled up super hard when it comes to their vocal mix and really how they approach that. And this is again another really solid vocal mix, really tight, really well rounded. Definitely feel the emotion, but Mac's flow also benefits from this kind of mix as well. So again, super solid. but this is definitely something you could almost expect from Mac now. Every once in a while, they'll try something new. But for the most part, Mac has a pretty good lockdown on their vocal mix, I would say. Definitely. Definitely. Um Shining Star. Probably the writing. Probably the writing. If I'm being honest with myself, I like how honest the writing was, but I like how easy it is for Mac to just lay it all on the line. And I feel like that's like what art and music is for. Like for the most part is to not only enjoy it, but to also like get your feelings out, right? And get your emotions out, get your thoughts off your chest, right? It's like one of the most healthiest ways to like actually like handle a lot of life's bullshit. Truly. So definitely writing for sure. Um so let's talk theme here. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Uh Theme and aesthetics. So when it comes to the aesthetics, again, I'm just a big fan of the Mac two times kind of cover art style, design style, and even this pretzel advisory is like super super small in the bottom corner. Like this is another one that's like I just love Mac's style when it comes to their designs. So again, this one definitely nails it for me. um I'm just a fan of this one. I don't know why, but all of Mac's covers have this like certain style and like texture to them that you never see anywhere else. So I feel like Mac's like design style is super unique, and that's very awesome. Um, Overall theme is a very clear and concise one, right? But it's definitely not an easy one to like lay on the line. And Lost My Worth is just a great title because like Mac expands upon that feeling like throughout the whole track and their struggles with the ups and downs of like trying to regain and keep their self-worth, and I think that's something that everybody on this planet has been through, regardless of what your struggle is, right? Because everybody's story is different, but we've also all had those same feelings. Again, maybe not to the same degree or maybe not the same way, but in this instance, this is definitely a feeling where losing your confidence and losing yourself almost is such a shitty feeling. And I feel like Mac does a really good job kind of getting all that off their chest in terms of like how they feel about it and how fucked up it is and how they're just kind of going through it. And again, I think this is a really like important aspect of music because there's a lot of positive and like good things music can do, and then there's a lot of like raw and real things music can do, and they might be ugly on the outside, but what it's doing for an artist that needed to write some thoughts down is unfathomable. Like it's just not even you, you just can't even imagine that shit. So well done. And with that said, a huge shout out to Mac two times. Thank you so much for the submission, friend. Much love. Make sure you follow Mac on SoundCloud. They are 3 away from 30. And of course, make sure you follow Mac on Twitter. They are 9 away from 130. Go show Mac two times some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, every episode is like that. So check the description. Go show these guys some love. Remember that. And of course, make sure you subscribe because we're about 1 away from 190. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good stuff's available on the main channel. So go check out the main channel. Go show these artists some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you. Shit, let's get it, baby. Everyone's been killing it tonight. Holy fuck. There's been no downsides like whatsoever. Jesus. Let's go. So huge shout out to Mac, and up next would be TDG and Blank Thought, but both of those wonderful individuals are Music Mondays patrons, so we had already reacted to them earlier in the show. So up next we got the homie Lil Derek. It's been a while since we heard from Derek, man. It's been probably about a couple months, maybe like 2 months, maybe a month. But a super talented hip hop artist. Submitted a track titled "The First Act." Okay. Let's get the track Visions off my EP, The First Act. Okay, so we got an EP here, and Derek wants us to go check out Visions. Okay. All right, so we'll pop open Spotify here. Let's see. We got the first track off the project. I am down. I am definitely down. I love this cover too. Holy fuck. That's fire. The barcode is such a nice touch. Okay, let's get into it. Lil Derek, Visions. Let's go.
I like good weed, I like bad bitches. I be up late at night in the lab spitting all about my life, and it's cash I'm getting. Always knew it'd be like this, I used to have visions. I like good weed, I like bad bitches. I be up late at night in the lab spitting
Okay.
all about my life, and it's cash I'm getting. Always knew it'd be like this, I used to have visions. This shit was all grind, now it's all mine. Tell them it's all time, niggas better fall in line. Tommy Vassetti in the city of the vice. Shorty and her girlfriends was with me last night. House full of bitches like I live in a sorority. Don't give me your heart unless it come with a warranty. Her pussy got power, I think that she knows sorcery. I got bigger priorities, she conduct herself accordingly. Ain't an actress, but baby know how to play her role. Roll my woods up as soon as she step in the door. Sex appeal on Ruby Rose, pussy bald Amber Rose. I pull up, she got nothing on under her robe. Fast cars, bad bras, you know that's the dream. My life is a movie, and it's right here my favorite scene. Was spitting 16s before I turned 15. At 14, knew I'd make it on the big screen. I like good weed, I like bad bitches. I be up late at night in the lab spitting all about my life, and it's cash I'm getting. Always knew it'd be like this, I used to have visions. I like good weed, I like bad bitches. I be up late at night in the lab spitting all about my life, and it's cash I'm getting. Always knew it'd be like this, I used to have visions.
Damn, man. Peace. That was a vibe and a half. Like the vibe and a half. Okay, so holy shit. This was very much I wouldn't call it like a stoner anthem, but it was like one of those like kick back, chill, relax, summertime kind of vibe tracks. Like really was. So, with that said, let's get into it and break this one down. So, we're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Visions. So, man, oh man. All right, let's talk instrumental. Because wow, this instrumental is filled with a lot of like theatrical sounds that really work awesome together. If I'm being honest with you, I definitely feel like I definitely feel like this producer did a really good job fully breaking down like what this instrumental needed. But before we get into that, let's talk about the mix. The mix is excellent. Nothing clashing, too overbearing at all. I definitely think the mix was a really like well-rounded, crisp, leveled mix as far as the instrumental goes. But again, usually everything with Derek, man, always has a super solid mix. So not really a shocker, but always got to point it out because it's super sick. So all right. Shining Star. Man oh man. The drums kept up the bounce. The drums are super crucial here, but the melodies gave it that like chill, almost lo-fi like classic hip hop vibe that like even gave a little bit of like a summer feel to it. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely gonna go ahead and say the melody for sure is a Shining Star. Definitely. Let's talk vocals though. So vocals are interesting. And again, mix is solid, nothing clashing to overbearing. Vocals sit definitely really solid on this instrumental. And I definitely think Derek's performance was like a super big positive when it comes to the mix. Derek just sounds really, really solid. But again, like I said, one of those artists that always has a pretty consistent mix. So not anything that's like too much of a shocker there, but definitely always got to point it out. So when it comes to the Shining Star with vocals, couple things. I definitely love the flow and cadence for sure. I feel like it was like really interesting to see how Derek like slid on this because this is one of those instrumentals that sometimes like you could it's like hard to find a flow to. You know what I mean? It's weird, but if you can make it work, it's sick. And I think Derek really made it work here. So flow and cadence is definitely up there for me. And I like writing too. I like a lot of these punchlines. Some of the wordplay is really solid. Um, but flow and cadence is up there. I like how Derek really just slid on this and really made this instrumental his own. To be honest with you, so probably flow and cadence for the vocals. So as far as the instrumental goes, definitely the melody. Um, vocals, definitely the flow and cadence. Overall theme. Let's talk. So aesthetics. Like I said, for a EP cover, I love this. Shit, realistically, it could be a single, but I like the fact that it's again less is more. Like literally like 2 tracks ago we had a cover that was very bare bones and minimalistic like this, and I think they hit. I really think they hit. I've always been a fan of these. But realistically it's all preference, right? Like we've spoke about this here on the show multiple times as to where like it doesn't really matter if you have the most extravagant cover art or literally like a Google image as cover art. If people don't like your music, they don't like your music, right? Like a cover's not going to make or break that. So just make the cover something that you as the artist really enjoy. And I think they nailed it as far as this cover goes, and really picking a cover that was like EP project worthy. I definitely think this one was not even a question. Not even a question. So really solid choice with that. Visions. This is definitely one of those kinds of tracks for the overall theme. Like it's not only like a showcase of like lyricism and writing ability, but it's also the vibe. Like the vibe the instrumental gives off, the vibe that Derek gives off. It's very much like plotting, summertime kick in it. Like I got visions of just everything. And I feel like Derek really nailed it as far as the theme goes and where he went with writing throughout the whole track. Like I just kept coming back to like summer barbecue, summer nights, by the fire, whatever. Um I do think Derek really nailed it, and like when did this come out? Yeah, it's like relatively new, right? Yeah, this came out literally what 3 days ago. Let's go, Derek. So super brand new, like perfect for like deep in the summer. You know what I mean? Like we're straight in the middle of the summer right now. So well done with this. Well fucking done. With that said, huge shout out to Derek for the submission. Much love. Make sure you follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Lil Derek on Twitter. They are literally so close to 2.3. They are like 34 followers away. Literally 34 followers away. So go show them some love on Twitter. Go get them to 3K. That'd be fire. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 sub-roonies on the main channel, so make sure you go check out the main channel. If you like what you see, make sure you drop a sub-rooney. Because we do upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of really good shenanigans over there on the channel. And for those of you that already have showed love, already subbed, and all that good stuff, we appreciate you, and thank you so much for supporting Music Mondays. So, man, oh man, up next we would have the homie Jordan Andrew, but Jordan Andrew is also a exclusive Music Mondays Patreon, so we'd already reacted to Jordan's submission way earlier in the show, so if you missed it, make sure you go check it out. But, up next, we got the homie Lavarius. Now, man, been a couple weeks since we've heard from Lavarius, and this is an artist that, just has infinite potential, super talented alternative hip-hop artist. Submitted a track titled Heating Up. Let's see what we got here. So it looks like this is off their 2-track recent EP, Who the Fuck is Laveries? Which I think that's a cool name. I think that's solid for sure. So Laveries submitted a track titled Eaten Up. Okay. Let's get into it. Laveries, Eaten Up. Super, super new. When did this drop? June 26th. So this is barely a month old. Barely. Let's get into it. Laveries, Heating Up. Let's go.
They think I'm on fire, but I'm just not eating up. They think I'm on fire, but I'm just not heating up. Got 2 bitches on my cock, one for love and one for lust. I wanna say I'm speeding down, but it ain't no slowing up. Ain't no lean up in my cup, just some water, pour it up. I eat syrup on my waffles and my bitch pussy for breakfast. Want my dick off for itself, I don't put it in there gently. I don't get no fucks, bitch, I'm rhyming on these beats until I die. I'm a slut for that pussy of a bitch to say she buy. I condone it, go ahead and switch sides if you like. Just come back to me, baby girl, I need you for the, I'ma need you for the weekend. Bring your friends, I'm tryna fuck them too. Suck it for a purse or some shoes, probably Jimmy Choo. And she got a man, he must be blind if he cuffing you. I ain't saying you ain't bad, but you cheat, he so gullible. And I'm with the gang on top, but you know they do. If anything go down in these streets, gotta stay cool. Gotta stay cool. Gotta stay cool. I stay cool just like the ice said I'm a cop when I get rich. I just blew that bitch a kiss, now I can't get off my dick. They be talking all that shit, but they ain't really saying shit. They be talking out their ass, hell yeah, they full of shit. My bitch get real mad when she ain't had no dick up in a minute. So I gotta pull up where she at and put dick in the kidney. That coochie so grippy that it might just be a quickie, but that's what she like, she fell in love and now she stole with me. She ain't going nowhere, I know she gon' be there by my side. I feel like I'm me inside her arm, she must be do or die. If she ever try to leave, she won't, she know that's suicide. That's my Bonnie, I'm a Clyde, but baby, we gon' never die. That's my Bonnie, I'm a Clyde, but baby, we gon' never die. That's my Bonnie, I'm a Clyde, but baby, we gon' never die.
Gas. Very much gas. Okay. Definitely much to discuss here. Let's break this down. We're gonna talk about 3 things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Heating Up. Kind of a cool track title too, because Laveries is just going on this one, so I like that song title for sure. But let's get into it. So let's talk instrumental. Interesting instrumental choice for sure. Kind of like an experimental trap beat for sure. Little like alternative variations here or there, right? But let's talk mix. So the mix is decent. Nothing clashing too overbearing at all, I don't think. Vocals definitely sit nice. Overall, it's a very crisp and like well-rounded mix. Everything's leveled. It's not like a crazy mix as far as the instrumental goes, but it's definitely solid for sure. Shining star with the instrumental. I wasn't a fan of that snare roll, but I love the melody. Like the snare roll was almost a bit out of place, but I definitely like the melody a lot. I feel like that's a very Laveries melody for sure. So for that reason, I'm definitely gonna say the melody. I like the melody like a lot. That's definitely like what has a lot of replayability here is the mel, and then I feel like structure's like a close second too, but melody definitely for the instrumental, absolutely. Let's talk vocals. So vocal mix is great. Again, Laveries has developed a pretty solid vocal mix, especially over the course of the last couple of months and all the tracks that we've heard. Some of their earlier work, some of their more recent work, especially up till now with this 2-track EP. I definitely like Laveries' mix. Super raw, but very crisp. Super clean. Again, sits well in the instrumental. Nothing clashing. Nothing too overbearing at all. I definitely think Laveries has a very good hand on their mix, and they're going to continue to improve it for sure. Definitely. But okay, so let's see. Flow and cadence was really solid on this. I really, really liked the flow and cadence, but writing was a close second too. But flow and cadence and the overall performance and delivery kind of nailed it for me. I feel like Laveri's came through on this like a little different, definitely like leveled up a bit for sure. So flow and cadence for me definitely sold it. Yeah, I could safely say flow and cadence. You can just tell Laveri's is slowly like progressing into their own style for sure. So yeah, not even a question. Not even a question. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely flow and cadence. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics, again, 2-track EP. Laveri's kind of like always nails it with their cover art, because it's usually shit that they just like, right? And like I like this slight IRL photo edit, and then you add the parental advisory bottom left. Perfect 2-track EP cover in my opinion. Looks like they're at that spot where the last lyric video was filmed that we reacted to. But nonetheless, I like this cover. You know what I mean? I feel like Laveri's definitely nailed it when it comes to choosing this cover, for sure. So the overall theme, Heating Up, right? I feel like Heating Up comes from the fact that Laveri's damn near freestyled this whole thing. Like, the flow was really solid, the delivery was really solid. I just like the overall performance. And you can tell that, like, Laveri's kind of leveled up here in terms of, like, lyricism, delivery, and like, how much they actually, like, put into their songs. So, the Heating Up title was almost damn near a no-brainer, and I feel like Laveri's did a really good job choosing that. And it just felt like one of those fast-paced, in-your-face, kind of like, filled with, like, bars and lyricism and wordplay and just overall, like, really, like, meme shit, combined with, like, some serious shit. Like, Laveri's definitely has it on lock, and I can't wait to see how much they progress this year, for sure. So with that said, huge shout out to Laveri's. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter as well. They are approaching 90 followers on Twitter. They are literally 6 away. Go show Laveri some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. Approaching 190 Dubberoonies on the main channel, my friends. So make sure you go show these artists on the main channel some love. We upload 2 times a motherfucking week. Every Thursday and Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good stuff is available on the main channel. So make sure you go show the main channel some love. And if you already have, thank you, my friends. Much, much love to those of you that show some love to the Music Mondays channel. Thank you. So, with that said, let's hop right back in and see who's up next. We got the homie Just Woz. Let's get it. So, Just Woz has really been on a tear in 2023 between visuals, singles, whole lot of good stuff, but a very, very talented alternative hip-hop artist. And actually multi-genre artist, to be honest with you. We've heard a couple different tracks in terms of style from them, so definitely multi-genre talented. But Woz said, check out this feature I did on the bro Divine 2 Wrath. Divine Wrath. Okay. Love that. A little feature for the homie. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Track is titled I Didn't Really Do That. All right. So this is off their project here, OMO. And this is track 5. All right, let's get into it. Divine Wrath, Just Woz. I didn't really do that.
I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that.
Don't catch me lacking paper.
I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that shit.
Catch me being a hater.
I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that.
I don't really do that.
I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that shit.
I don't really do that.
Lately I've been going crazy, man, I'm in my own zone. People hitting up my line, I'm sorry, I ain't been by the phone. I've been chilling with my niggas, smoking super dope, getting grown. Coming up for the throne. About to move into the billboard, man, top 5, that's my home. Shorty wanna give me body, I just wanna get a little dome, that's a head crack. You talk too much, don't
that's where the feds at. If you really about that life, hope you respect that. Man, free Jeffrey from the pen, but this ain't no YSL rap. I'm a law-abiding citizen. You never know who's listening. Melanin on Steven Universe, that's why I'm glistening. We was born like this, why you wanna be hard? Never meet your heroes, I could never trust these rock stars. I don't really do that shit. Man, they I don't really do that. Don't catch me lacking paper. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that don't shit. Don't catch me being a hater. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that. I don't really do that. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that. I don't really do that shit. I don't really do that. Mismatching, yeah, they be blabbering this, that. Filter is soft, the low mids. Listen to the way that I talk that. 7 like mellow a bucket. Simple like end of discussion. Thought there was more to this game. Can't listen and validate your claims. Days I was going to range. Cooper, I'm out of the plane. Airborne, I'm catching some flies. Find me, I'm high as the rain. Wet as the reaper that's playing this shit. See the mind. I don't wanna hear that shit. Don't wanna pick you out. I've been done, I'm tired. I don't really like that split. Seen the manipulation, now I'm taking mine like.
Damn. Holy shit. Oh shit, that just comes in and goes out hella fucking quick. Holy fuck. Wow. Okay. Well done. Let's break this one down. Much to discuss here. Let's talk instrumental, let's talk vocals, let's talk theme. So, let's talk instrumental. This is a very, very solid instrumental when it comes to, like, the Woe style, but there's a couple, like, really solid, like, redeeming qualities about this I really want to talk about. So, first things first, let's talk about the mix. Mix is great. Nothing clashing too overbearing. I like how everything knocks. Everything is very wide, has its own space. Pretty much everything with Woz is pretty solid when it comes to the mix. Not really, like, a super shocker there at all. Woz's stuff is always really well rounded. But speaking strictly on the instrumental, I definitely think they did a really good job on that for sure. Shining Star, easily the melody, just because it's still playing in my head, that melody. Like, it's super catchy. Like, the replayability is there. Like, it's gonna make you want to come back for more just from the melody alone. So it's not even questioning the melody. Although the drums were super hard. I love the drums bounce. I love the sound selection for the drums, and they knock. So the drums are definitely there, but the melody just kind of had that, like, it factor about the instrumental for sure. So let's talk vocals. Vocals are great. Nothing clashing too overbearing. I definitely think Woz sounds like really fucking solid on this. Really, really solid. When it comes to the mix, though, again, this is another artist that always has, like, a pretty consistent, well done mix. So I can't even sit here and be surprised. Like, Woz is very crispy when it comes to the mixing and how they like their stuff done. So not really a shocker there at all, but always got to point it out. So well done on the mix for sure. But I'm tied between flow and cadence. For the Shining Star when it comes to vocals, flow and cadence, I'm really tied with for a couple of reasons. Flow and cadence is definitely up there, but writing is like that close second. I like both a lot. Because flow and cadence and delivery are there, but the writing had some, like, really, like, interesting punchlines and, like, really kind of, like, simple thought out punchlines too. So I'm very, like, 50-50 on it. But I do like the flow and cadence, though. It definitely makes you want to move for sure. So for that reason, I'm definitely gonna say flow and cadence. Yeah, definitely flow and cadence for sure. But again, writing's like a close second. Definitely a close second. But so instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely flow and cadence. Writing is close second. Let's talk theme. So when it comes down to the theme, let's talk aesthetics. This is a wonderful fucking album cover. Not only do I really like the raw, like, original photo, but the fact that it has this, like, disco, high school, or almost like dance kind of, like, even like high school reunion, or like you like you got booked to play at, like, some, like, fucking, like, high school event or something. Like, I just love this photo. Like, I think it's totally project worthy. So aesthetics on point, and I definitely like this choice from them. But overall theme, I don't even really do that. Kinda is in the hook, right? Definitely in the hook. But was it expands on like a couple of different things here. And mostly just about not being a bitch, right? Not being a rat, not being fucking whack, not just being real. You know what I mean? Like the track is more about being real than it is about like not being a rat or like not being fake or anything like that. So that's definitely like a really like solid theme to get behind, especially with Waz, because like Waz can like spin so many punchlines on this. So I feel like they both did a really good job on this. And what a cool feature on a project. What a cool fucking feature. So well done, my friends. Huge shout out to Waz and Divine Wrath. Make sure you follow Divine on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow Waz on Twitter. They are approaching 1.2K on the Bird app. Make sure you go show Waz some love over there on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, every artist featured in today's, I mean, literally every episode. I don't know why I always trip about that, but literally every episode, everybody's in the description. Go show them some love, per usual. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 submarines on the main channel, my friends. So go show the main channel these artists some love. And of course, we upload every Thursday and Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good stuff's available over there. So go show these artists and the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you, my friends. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. So, let's get it. Shout out Waz. But up next, we got the homie Lil Caesar, aka Grapes Remix, and a super talented alternative hip hop producer. They can do quite a few genres, but super known for funk as well. But Lil Caesar submitted a track titled Castle Oblivion. I am down for this. Let's see what we got here, chat. For sure. Let's see. Custom Kingdom Hearts type beat for Deviants 996. Sold exclusive cover art by Claymore. Okay. SoundCloud exclusive. Support my Spotify, Instagram. Love the fucking description. Well done. Well done. Lots of love in the comments per usual. Shout out Lil Caesar, man. Let's fucking go. Awesome. Good for you. But let's get into it. Lil Caesar, Castle Oblivion. Let's go.
I'm what's left. Or maybe I'm all there ever was. How long has it been since I abandoned that name?
Oh my. What the fuck? Jesus. Oh, wow.
carrying on what you yourself began, and I'm creating a brand new world, one heart at a time. I thought you'd praise me, but all you ever do is hold me back.
Yeesh. Okay, that was fucking perfect. Especially for a Kingdom Hearts type beat. What? Okay. Well done. That was fucking fire. Absolutely fire. 9 days ago, too. Brand fucking new. Huge shout out to Little Caesar. Well done. So instrumental, we're gonna talk about two things here. Talk about the instrumental itself, because obviously no vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme. So, man, oh man, oh man, let's talk mix, because shit, this mix was on fucking point. From the melodies to the drums to the structure to the sound selection, mix was on point. I actually saw a comment here. Somebody said it was like too loud or something like that. Like, nah, I definitely think it was like nice chilly track, a bit loud. Yeah, no, I think it was perfect just because the bass was so wide and had so much room to take up. You almost had to mix it in this fashion. So I think the mix was perfect. Since we're starting off with that, but I like the mix a lot. Definitely. And again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. I didn't think it was too loud just because when the drums kicked in, it evened out. So, solid mix. Definitely solid mix. Shining Star, I feel like the melodies played such a big part, obviously, in the Kingdom Hearts type beat, like aura of this track, but the drums just say so much about this. The drums are just fucking everything. They bang to a T, especially the bass and the 808. Like, everything about this is really fucking well done. Like, really, really well done. So it's not even a question the drums of the Shining Star here. But close second is definitely the structure, and then of course right behind that the melodies. But I think he did a really good job on the drums, definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums of the Shining Star. Let's talk theme here. So aesthetics, cover is fucking excellent. Little Caesar always has the best art done. Done by Claymore, yeah. So once again, I'm pretty sure Claymore does the majority of their art, or at least some of their pieces, and this one's really well done. Definitely matches the nighttime vibe as well that this instrumental brings off. So again, not only is the quality top notch, but a really good choice. Really, really good choice. And I like how it's tagged ambient, because it really is very, very much an ambient style beat. Overall theme, Castle Oblivion, right? I mean, custom Kingdom Hearts type beat. Literally nailed it to a T. If I was an artist, or a vocalist, I should say, or shit, somebody approached me for anything like this is exactly what you'd get. You know what I mean? Like, this is really well done. This is really fucking well done. Like, you couldn't even get a better Kingdom Hearts type beat without actually, like, going in, like, and sampling everything from fucking Kingdom Hearts. Like this is, like, really solid for a custom. So, well done. And keep doing your thing. I would love to hear more. And, of course, huge shout out to Little Caesar. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow Little Caesar on SoundCloud. They are literally 8 away from 440. And, of course, make sure you follow Grace Remix on Twitter. They are approaching 530. Literally 3 away. Go show them some love on the Bird app, man. And, of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And, of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. Approaching 190 sub-earnings on the main channel, so make sure you go show these artists on the main channel some love. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, all that good stuff's available on the main channel. So go show these artists on the main channel some love, my friends. So, up next, we got the homie, Offspring Mysterious. Now, Offspring, again, has been destroying 2023. Really putting out so many consistent edits. Really just going super, super hard with their YouTube channel. And it's such a pleasure to be able to keep up to date with Offspring and really see what they're getting into. So, Offspring submitted Inner Child. When your inner child calls. Oh, shit. Let's see what we got here, baby. Okay, so, let's see here. Let's go 1080. Want to hear a not so fun fact? People forget how to be kids when they grow older. Think about it. It's ultimately being both. Yeah, no, it's true. Like, like that fountain of youth is important, man. You got to stay close to your childhood. For sure you do. Fuck being old, and even if you are old, doesn't mean you can't enjoy shit that fucking was good in your youth. You know what I mean? So, let's see what we got here. Offspring is Serious. Inner Child. Let's go. Gonna be good. What a legend. What a legend. Let's go. The timing is perfect. Okay. Well done. Well done. The Offspring edits have leveled up, bro, like, immensely, man. Like, holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. No way. So Offspring does like mint chocolate chip ice cream. Wow. Holy shit. You know what? I love the concept of this edit a lot. Just because I think it's super fucking meaningful. And the fact that Offspring went and filmed this in one day is like really fire. Like, my cheat code for being stress free is listening to your inner child. And it's so true. Like, regardless of like perception or anything like that, like listening to your inner child is really the way to stay young, right? And it's not about being like immature, it's just being true to your roots. And I think this is a very important video. Like I definitely think this is very important in terms of like what the deeper meaning is here. But as far as like shining stars throughout this whole edit, I really like the transitions a lot. I like the location and the concept, but a lot of the smaller details, like the photos that got thrown in and the songs used, were like really over the top and like made this such a nice level up for Offspring. Like, Offspring's edits compared to this time last year are fucking crazy. And this one is right along the lines of like getting in those concepts that are like really important. And with where Offspring has come, like, I cannot wait to see where this goes. Like, this is another real classic one. Like, everything over the last like 4 submissions or so has been crazy. It's just been a crazy level up from Offspring. And Inner Child was definitely one for the books. Definitely one for the books. I like this one a lot. Definitely. With that said, huge shout out to Offspring Mysterious. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you sub to Offspring Mysterious. They are literally one sub away from 120. So much content on there. Offspring uploads literally just go sub to Offspring. You won't regret it. Very active. And of course, make sure you follow Offspring Mysterious on Twitter. They are 8 follows away from 840. So make sure you go show Offspring some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 subaroonies, so make sure you go show the channel some love. And of course, you know, we upload 2 times a week. I mean, come on, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff. So make sure you go show the channel some love, man. And of course, if you already have been, we appreciate you and thank you for showing love to Music Mondays. Promo, what's good? I hope you're well. Happy Monday. Welcome on in. Hope you're well. So let's get on to it, chat. The very last submission of the night. It is a first-time submission by an artist known as Dubstep Producer. Any feedback helps. Will hopefully release sometime soon. Stim God. Darius Stimming Remix. Let's see what we got here. And we are literally the only account that they follow on Twitter. That's pretty pog. Shout out to Dub. Dubstep Rhythm Darius Remix. Okay. Damn. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Dubsped, Stim God. Let's get into it. Oh no. Holy shit. Holy shit. The sample usage is crazy. Better get ready.
It's the Riz.
No fucking way, bro.
Sturdy, Darius. This he gets sturdy.
The sample usage is crazy. To the gritty.
It's gonna be a great day. I say good, you say great. That's what I'm talking about. Put that positivity in the universe.
What the fuck? I mean, like, what a bizarre fucking track, but it's like, it's so solid, like, for what it is, right? It's got a little bit of rhythm, it's dubstep, it's got a couple genres sprinkled in there, man, but I mean, other than the fact that it's a meme, it's very solid. Very, very fucking solid. Shit. Okay, so let's break this down. Obviously no vocals. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Stim God. So let's start off with the mix. The mix is really well done, to be honest with you, especially with how much is going on here with the samples and the drums and the kind of like erratic synth choices and pretty much the regular qualities of dubstep being all over this track. The mix is very well rounded, super crisp, super solid. No gripes with the mix whatsoever, especially with how difficult these tracks can be to mix sometimes. You know what I mean? To get a real solid mix, sometimes you gotta fight the shit, bro. You really gotta fight the shit, and this one had a really well-rounded mix. I'm definitely impressed with that for sure. Just because nothing was clashing, too overbearing at all. Everything was nice and level, especially the vocal samples. Everything was solid for sure. Shining star about the instrumental. The sample usage was so good because it wasn't like overdone. I think it's clear as day. Because like it's definitely a fire track outside of the sample, but the Darius sample kind of makes it work because it's not overused. It's not throughout the whole track. It's on the drops. The quotes change. There's a lot of like variety in here, and I think Dub did a really good job making sure it wasn't overused. Because if it was overused, the shit would get annoying really quick. But this was like just tolerable enough where I think dubstep and rhythm listeners will appreciate something like this. I definitely think so. So yeah, the sample usage was really well done. Really well done. So the instrumental solid, definitely a sample usage, very impressive. Drums are a close second though. I really like the drum selection. Structure is also there. So the overall theme, Stim God, right? Aesthetics. We have this insane picture of Darius that's like fucking cooked, bro. Like fucking cooked. For those that want context, Darius is I believe a disabled individual that's pretty famous on TikTok, and they have a lot of cool videos with their family and whatnot. But that was like a really solid piece of art to use. I think that's like really high quality. So yeah, no, obviously a no-brainer with the art, but Stim God Darius Stimming remix, I mean, no-brainer. No brainer. Like, the sample was so well utilized, and I think the thing that I really enjoy about this is the fact that it wasn't overused, and that pretty much sold me on it. So well done. Huge shout out to Dub. Make sure you go follow Dub on SoundCloud. They have literally 0 followers. I'm gonna be there first. Boom. How you like that? All right, everybody go follow it up. Make sure you go show Dub some love on Twitter. They literally have 0 followers there as well. So go show Dub some love on the Bird app, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 Gubberoonies on the main channel, my friends. And of course, we upload 2 times a week. Literally. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good stuff's available on the main channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the main channel some love. But with that said, that concludes episode 131, reactions and reviews. Huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays Patreons and the whole Music Mondays community for coming through, showing love, dropping links, all that good stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friends. Huge shout out to No Name Dread, Mugen, Ryuki, Oathkeeper, Brandon, Filter, Zell, Mac 2 times, TDG, Blank Thought, Lil Derek, Jordan, Laveries, Waz, Caesar, Offspring, and Dub. Thank you guys so much for all the love and your submissions tonight, and everybody else that lurked and chilled in the chat while we had a really, really solid episode of Music Mondays, my friends. So let's close this out and let's say our goodbyes. Let's talk about what's coming up for Music Mondays and what you can expect. So let's get into it. Like I said, expect a whole lot of our regular scheduled content to drop this week as well. We have so much stuff planned. Our summer recap got filmed in this episode as well, so expect that on YouTube. Again, written piece this Friday. Whole lot of YouTube content coming out. Like I said, in case you missed it, monthly will be sliding out relatively soon. Expect Underground Classics and The Breakdown, and so many other things. Realistically, all of our weekly and monthly content will be returning. So if you're not already following us on socials at All Music Mondays, follow us on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, TikTok, YouTube at All Music Mondays. Literally all platforms, everywhere. Go show us some love. If you're interested in submitting for episode 132, submissions open tomorrow. So if you're watching this on YouTube, submissions are already open. If you're watching this on Twitch, submissions open tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you go follow us on socials, man. You know, literally, come on. But we have quite the summer ahead of us and a whole lot of really, really solid stuff coming. So again, huge shout out to everybody that came through, showed love tonight, and huge shout out to everybody else in the chat, man. Huge shout out to Ryuki, TDG, Owen, anybody else that lurks and chilled. Thank you guys for coming out and just showing some love to the show, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you follow Music Mondays on all audio platforms, anchor.fm/all Music Mondays. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff's available. You can follow me at ZomSlays on all platforms as well. Expect a lot of content from us this week. Expect a lot of content from Music Mondays and pretty much my whole roster. But today was a really solid show. Really, really solid show. So huge shout out to you guys for coming through, showing love. It's been your boy ZomSlays. This is episode 131 of Music Mondays. We'll be live next week for episode 132. Make sure you follow the channel if you haven't already. We are live every single day of the week. And of course, it's been your boy ZomSlays. And we'll see you next week for episode 132 of the Music Mondays podcast.